I don't know how I'm gonna wait. I don't know how I'm gonna stream this.
I don't know, man. You could have figured that out. I don't have any advice from you. I don't stream on TikTok.
I actually need to end live.
You're gonna end the this live or TikTok? You're good, man. How you doing?
Good. It'd be easier for you to do this shit over to.
If we streamed over Discord?
Yeah.
That's
fine,
not too personal, man. I think this is more of a personal connection, face to face, both face on screen. I know Discord has face to face, but I prefer this format for my debates. But maybe in the future,
Yeah, I can still
record.
I can still record it. Yeah, I can still.
Yeah, I mean, you can download it off my channel. I can show you how if you want. Or also,
no, I have a screen recording thing.
Do you want to post this on your YouTube? Because there's a new collaboration feature where I can send you the link. It'll give you the option to share this to your YouTube as well if you want.
Yeah,
it's up to you.
Yeah, we can do that.
Cool. Hello, chat. Hello, everyone out there. So you want to give us, start with an introduction and a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm Scratch. You can find me on all platforms at this point. Scratch9258 or my alt account Scratch 2.0. I do like the game a little bit. I'm a leftist. I do political debates, specifically a market socialist. I know y'all probably don't give a fuck about that. And yeah, I was part of the Unfuck America tour. So let's get down to business.
What the hell is that? Is that some Democrat tour for Kamala Harris?
No, it's a tour that's basically contesting like TPUSA. So
that's horrific. Why would you contest that? And also, are you really 18? You look hella young, man.
Yeah. This is my college dorm.
Okay, your college dorm. But cool. You want to let us know what university, or is that too much doxing?
I will not be yelling. The university.
Okay, can you tell us what state you're in or no? Or what state
Wisconsin,
you're from, maybe?
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. The state where, if you get your first DUI, it's just a civil citation.
Yeah, it is. Got a lot of drunks around here.
Welcome in, everyone. Smash that like and subscribe button. I mean, I guess we can start with, first off, my first question before we even begin the debate. Why would you protest against, Turning Point USA? I'm just curious.
We all recognize that, like, Charlie Kirk, very good.
It's basically about DEI. That's your main problem here.
No. Charlie Kirk is a very smart and obviously well-educated political organizer. He was able to create TPSA from a young age and build it up, creating hundreds and hundreds of chapters all around the U.S., which has motivated young voters to come out and vote for Donald Trump. We realize this is like a obvious space where the Democrats are lacking, so having some kind of organization or tour, which can also contest this, specifically UFA. We're creating chapters in different colleges. We're going out to TP USA events, or we're doing our own events on campus where we set up tents and we debate college kids on certain topics. So that's kind of what we're doing.
Oh, so you're just basically copying him. I thought you said you were protesting him.
No, I didn't say protesting.
Okay, my mistakes. Someone in the comments, the guy, quote unquote, Gandalf that we were just in the Discord with, he wants to know if you're a band geek. Band.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
You probably recognize that from the shirt.
I guess he recognized it. I didn't recognize it. But so I guess, one final question before we get into the debate. Can you condemn what happened to Charlie Kirk? Or are you like one of those Democrats out there, like, how you
political violence is bad. We shouldn't do it. We shouldn't. Political violence is bad. Never go out and do that. What happened to Charlie Kirk was terrible. I feel sad for him and his family. I personally had to ban and block quite a few people from my own community in Discord.
Yeah, that's pretty disgusting. I mean, I get what you're saying about Paul Pelosi, but do you understand how it's like a little bit more disgusting to, outright say
well, obviously, but as Destiny famously said,
Destiny is a PDF file.
Not even a week ago, when you have one side that comes to dinner and they forget to put on deodorant, and you have another side who literally shits themselves. I do watch Destiny. I watch a little bit
You
of everybody.
support a person that has admitted to having child PDF content on their computer. This is not like the Epstein thing. This is something that he's openly admitted to. Openly admitted to having child, underage, inappropriate content on his computer, and you're fine with supporting with him, even though he supports political violence and he supports PDF activities.
I don't think watching him on my team is supporting. I watch everybody. I watch Hassan, Destiny,
I mean, that is
Vosh,
supporting him, but
Rob Nor, or Andrew Wilson. I like to know what people are talking about, what the talking points are.
Destiny
From
is
all
not really a
sides.
heavy, strong debater. I mean, he doesn't. I don't personally believe he really
He's
believes
one
the
of the
stuff he
strongest.
says.
One of the strongest debaters on
Oh,
the left
absolutely
side.
not. He's horrific. I wouldn't even put him. He's not even better than some of these YouTubers out here that are, left wing, that are Democrats that have, 30, 40,000 subscribers. And I also debated with his girlfriend. Her name was Lauren DeGluna or something like that. She's a pretty well known public figure. She was on Fresh and Fit podcast. She was on many podcasts with Destiny, and I've had her on here before. And I think it's kind of ironic. If he really believed, what he's saying about the Democrat Party, why would he date someone with like the opposite political beliefs than him? I mean, I asked her this question too, and she just said that he thought MAGA was intriguing and interesting.
Game is
So
game.
I mean, I don't know. That's not really game.
Don't try and coach a player.
I mean, I don't think he's really a player. I mean, he's more like a PDF file that's admitted to having child content on his computers. I mean, I think he's also being
do a
sued.
defend Destiny stream. I'm just saying he has
No, I
a
know, I
good
know.
point.
I'm just saying,
I'm just
man,
saying
you
he
just
has a
gotta
good
watch
point. He
out
has a
who
good he has a
look
good
up
point
to
when
these
you have
days.
one side who's completely and totally consistently ramping up the political violence on one
I
side,
mean,
and the
why
other side who
has
does
New
it a
York
little bit.
Post
It's really
articles?
disgusting.
Wait, here's a question. Do you think New York Post is more left leaning or right leaning?
Right leaning. Wait, yeah,
Really?
right
Right
leaning.
leaning, even though they made several articles about how much they hate Donald Trump and et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah,
Even
they're
though
more
New
right leaning.
York is known for their liberalism and their left wing rhetoric?
Yeah, wasn't New York Post the ones who originally leaked the Hunter Biden emails from his laptop?
I don't really know who originally
But
leaked
yeah,
it, but why would
that was the New York
leaking
Post.
Hunter Biden's emails make you a conservative news
They
article?
literally did it. They literally did it against the Biden administration.
Okay, so that makes them conservative.
It definitely makes, yeah. That's let's say MAGA or leaning
So does that
or conservative
invalidate
leaning
any of their
article.
articles or any of the recent
Hmm?
articles talking about how there's a rise against violence against conservatives and people on the right because they quote unquote said because of Trump's presidency, that's why they're experiencing. They blamed it on Trump and said there's a rampant rise in violence against people on the right.
If there has been, I think that's bad.
But do you think there
But from
has been,
what,
or do you think this is like a
huh?
fake news article,
I
or
don't
like
know. I don't know what exactly the New York Post is saying. From what I've seen, I was talking about the study the DOJ took down right after Charlie Kirk on a
I
live that
still
said
haven't
right
seen any
wingers
evidence
skew
of that. I've heard you
disproportionately
say that multiple
more
times.
violence. If
Could
you
you
look,
please give me a source for it? And
yeah, if you use the
why would there be a raising amount of a conservative violence against the left when we got Antifa, we got Charlie Kirk, we got the recent ICE situation where a person that hated ICE that was openly, I mean, he left a memoir that said that he was trying to bring fear into ICE and
obviously when I say
immigration.
do you think a study's looking at individual instances, or you think it's looking holistically at all violence that's committed?
I mean,
Like we
I
had
think
the
it's looking at
on the
all. I
exact
think it's
same. I
looking
want to be
at
clear on the exact same day
major
that Charlie
mainstream
Kirk
political
on the
attacks.
exact same day Charlie Kirk got unalived. There was a school shooting where, if I'm correct, one
Yeah, I
got
know. That was
unalived, and the
also,
person
wasn't that from a
was a
transgender shooter,
no.
if
It
I'm
was a
correct?
no. It was a neo Schwazi. That's the
Are
problem,
you
right? And
sure
then
about that? You might want to do
I'm quite
research.
sure.
You got a source for
I'm
that?
I'm quite sure about that. Do you have
I
a source
mean,
for
source,
anything you just said
please.
prior? Like, can
Source?
you give me the source for the ice shit? For the ice shit, can you give
What
me a
ICE?
source?
Which specific
You said
one?
that there was a ice schmooter who was apparently super against ice.
I mean, yeah, I can give you a source for that. I have my computer right in front of me. And he also,
I
did
just
you
want
hear
to be
about
clear.
that
Like,
situation
if
at
you're gonna
all
source
or
for me,
no?
I'm gonna do it right back to you.
Sorry?
If you're gonna ask me for a source, I will ask you for a source.
Okay, if that's fair, I'll give you a source for the ICE. I mean, my source is literally, let's see here. We got Homeland Security, DHS.gov.news. They literally, show the shell casings where the message says anti-ICE. Now, where is your source for like the last two or three things you've said?
Okay, so for the first one, it's you can look it up. It's on the Wayback Machine because they took it down. what the
Oh,
NIJ
way back
research tells
machine.
us
Okay,
about
that's valid.
domestic terrorism. Here, if you want.
What is it? What does it say
Here,
exactly?
don't worry, dude. I'll put it in. I'll send it to you in Discord. So here's the study that they took, that the Trump admin took
We got
down.
231 people in here already. Smash that like and subscribe button.
So
also, man, I really wish that you could open your mind up and, you know, actually give the older generation a little bit of props. I mean, I appreciate that we're 10 minutes in and you haven't little broed me yet. But I mean, like, come on, man. People that are way older
respect
than
is
you
earned, not given.
Sorry?
Respect is earned, not given.
Is that what your
don't
parents
give a
taught
fuck
you?
if you're right. Huh?
Is that what your parents taught you? Because that's not right.
That's what I taught. I've taught myself that. I taught myself that.
I mean,
I don't
then
take
maybe you
shit
should
from
listen to your
elders just because
parents,
they're
your
older than me.
grandma or something. You're supposed to respect the older generation, the older people.
I respect
You're
people in
supposed
my
to give
family because I
respect
know them.
until people give you a reason not to respect them. I mean, it's common human courtesy.
Yeah, somebody being dumb in a debate. I feel if someone's being dumb in a debate, you're not gonna get respect.
I mean, I'm giving you respect right now. What you're telling me is I shouldn't give you any respect until, you know, it's earned. Is that what kind of logic
you don't have to respect. You don't have to respect me.
Do you want to disrespect people until they earn your
I didn't say disrespect.
Is that
you just don't have no. My logic is that you probably shouldn't just disrespect people randomly. But I'm not going to respect you just because you're my elder. Yeah, I disrespected you guys because people were in the Discord were saying Twitter was a valid source and then not actually addressing my argument about Trump making fun of Nancy Pelosi.
What if CNN or MSNBC post an article on Twitter? Is that not valid? You're saying Twitter is not a valid source? What if
it depends on honestly? It depends. I say it'd be more valid, but he didn't say CNN. He didn't say MSNBC.
But he did say that it was literally, you know, police cameras from an independent news organization.
How do I know that's police cameras? How do I know that independent thing didn't edit it?
You didn't do any research. You didn't know if Paul Pelosi was.
I didn't. Do you think? I just want to be clear. You accept that Paul Pelosi got attacked, right?
I mean, do you know how he got injured? Apparently, you didn't.
Do you think? Wait, do you accept that Paul Pelosi got attacked, right?
Yeah, you accept that he was.
Okay, I don't know why. I don't know why we're arguing over how he got attacked. And by the way, he literally got a fracture. I looked it up, a skull fracture. I looked it up a little bit earlier. So you guys were wrong. That wasn't just a bruise on the fucking hand, right? I don't know why we're arguing. I don't know why we're arguing over how he got hurt. The ultimate argument is he got hurt, and then Donald Trump made fun of Nancy Pelosi and
mocking the death of somebody.
Huh?
I said, will you at least admit that the Democrat Party, millions of Democrats all over Twitter, all over the internet, have openly mocked and tried to humiliate Charlie Kirk and his family?
I agree that yes, absolutely. But I'm going to hold the president of the United. I'm going to make. Wait. Do you think we should hold? Wait. Do you think we should hold random people on the internet and Wait, just real quick. Do you think we should hold the president of the United States to the same standard as random people on the internet?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, not really, but at the same time.
No, obviously. So obviously, I don't really care about the two follower blue sky accounts who are making fun of Charlie Kirk right now. I more care about the fact the president can't.
You just said you agreed that there were millions. But can I ask you one more?
I said the two follower blue sky accounts. I said the two follower blue sky account. I said the two follower. I don't care about the two follower blue sky accounts making fun of Charlie Kirk now. I care,
dude. Every Democrat politician in the country was
making AOC did not make fun of Trump or Charlie Kirk. Nobody made fun of Charlie Kirk.
AOC did.
Did you hear her officials? Do you want me to bring it up? I've listened to it.
I mean, we can go through a list of all the politicians that made fun of. What about that one Somali lady, Omar, or whatever her name is? She said horrendous things about Charlie Kirk.
What horrendous things did she say?
I mean, since you want to look it up and show all the sources, you can look it up. It's pretty disgusting.
You're the one who's citing it. Here, I'll even disprove. Look, I'm doing. Here, I'll do you a favor. You can listen to AFC right now.
Today, the Republican
I'll speed it up a little bit.
Majority brought to the floor a resolution honoring the life.
She said his legacy is bigotry, hatred, and white supremacy.
Charlie Kirk's assassination
was disgusting.
A horrific and vile attack and incident of political violence. And condemning the depravity of Kirk's brutal murder is a straightforward matter, one that is especially important to help stabilize an increasing.
What happened? He went black.
we can deeply disagree and come together as a country to denounce.
Is that good enough? Do you want me to play any more?
Let's see what I can find here. Let's take a look. I mean, that's
So
just
I want to
one
be clear.
clip of
AOC
what
is
she
condemned
said.
it. Democrats are condemning it. They're
She
condemning it.
said that his rhetoric beliefs were ignorant, uneducated, and sought to disenfranchise millions of people, which is
Yeah.
very far from the truth.
Do you think her saying that means
She's
she didn't
smearing
condemn it?
someone's legacy that passed away. Do you not think that's morally...
Yes, that's fine. Yes,
That's
I'm gonna
fine?
smear fucking Schmittler's
Charlie Kirk
legacy
asked
too.
someone bail out
Okay.
Paul's attacker. Do you got a source?
Look,
for
you
that?
can wait. That's my exact vision. Wait, can you acknowledge something that happened was bad and condemn the violence at the same time say the person did bad things in their life?
Who?
Is that possible?
What are you saying?
Charlie
Say it
Kirk.
again.
Charlie Kirk.
What bad
So
things
I'm
did he
asking.
do? The only bad thing I can
Can you
think of
wait? Can you just
say
answer
is
the
that he
question first?
disagreed with DEI.
Hypothetically,
How that a bad thing?
wait? Just give me a sec. Is it possible to say, hey, this person shouldn't have unalived, but I think the things that he did were bad? Are those two positions you can hold?
I mean, yeah, sure, but you shouldn't be.
Yeah, okay, so her position is that her obvious so from what you've read, her obvious I just want to be clear. Her obvious position. Sorry, I want to be clear.
That, yes or no?
I want
all
to
these things can be true.
I want to be clear.
Do you think it's respectful and you think you're a good person if you talk shit about someone that passed away? They can't defend themselves. This man died, and you're going to talk about how all these.
Yeah, I think it can be respectful as long as you make sure to clearly say you condemn the violence beforehand. As long as you make sure to clearly condemn the violence and say it should not have beforehand. That's fine.
I mean, she'd never clearly condemned the violence.
Gentlemen,
we can listen to it one more time.
Let's hear it again. Smash that like and subscribe button, though, guys.
A resolution honoring the life and legacy of Charlie Kirk.
Well, if she was honoring the life and legacy, then why did she call him a bigot and his message was hateful and ignorant?
Of political violence.
This message that you're playing,
a Kirk's brutal murder.
Okay, did she condemn it? Did she condemn it? Just there.
Yeah,
did she condemn it?
Okay,
so I want to be very clear because this is my exact position. I don't want you being malicious.
She condemned it because she was pressured politically by her rivals.
Oh my God! Nice goalpost change, by the way. I just want to be clear. Your original position is that AOC was making fun of Charlie Kirk. And she wasn't condemning the violence, and now you switch it to she was forced to. So nice goalpost change.
Let me play you her
you're not gonna get on
statement since you want to play this game of let's hear
about who Charlie Kirk was. A man who believed that the Civil Rights Act that granted Black Americans the right to vote was a mistake. Who, after the violent attack on Paul Pelosi, claimed that, quote, some amazing patriot, unquote, should bail out.
I don't have, any information for any of these.
And accused Jews of controlling, quote, not just the colleges. It's the nonprofits.
Well, to be fair, lots of Democrat people do that as well. But let's not get into that whole topic.
Okay, I just want to be very clear. I'll make the statement. All Democratic politicians are coming out and condemning this. You just played a clip of AOC condemning this. But the statement,
they're all literally calling him a bigot and hateful, and some of them.
Do you think just because you're calling somebody a bigot and hateful doesn't mean you're not condemning the violence?
Yeah, you're condemning the violence after you get called out and ridiculed.
No, that's from the same speech that you just played.
Let's look up what Democrat.
That's from dude. That's wait. I just want to be clear. The speech that you just played was the same one that I was playing before. So you condemned it first. So we shouldn't do violence. We said let's not forget because this is the content of the full speech. Let's not forget that this guy was still a bad person. So I don't see why you feel the need to completely harp on this over and over again. Reality is the Democrats are
make one final statement.
The reality of
move on.
Okay, you're just not gonna say it. Can I make my point?
No, but answer this question. Do you believe when someone passes away, like if your mom or your dad or your grandma passed away, do you think it's respectful for people to come out and say that she was a bigot, that she was hateful?
If she was, yes.
Sorry?
If she was, yes. If my grandma was a fucking raging fucking racist, if my grandma was a raging fucking racist, okay, right? And she was saying a bunch of terrible things, I would say I'm sad that she passed away. I loved her, but she was a racist.
No, you're full of shit, man.
I know. Let's remember that was part of her.
If someone was bad mouthing your grandma, you're gonna defend her. At least I hope you defend her.
I might not even defend her if somebody's that bad. But once again, I want to be very clear because there's been a clear shift in the goalposts of this conversation. The original, the Democrat. No. I'm gonna finish my statement. Okay.
Go ahead.
There's been a clear shift in the goalposts of this conversation. Went from the Democrats aren't condemning it. I played the clip. She obviously condemned it in that speech that you played with part of it. The Democrats are condemning it. Your problem is that they're then saying, okay, this is bad. We shouldn't do political violence. We're bad. We're sorry that Charlie unalive, but we also don't think he was a good person. That's your problem. And there's nothing wrong with that. The Democrats aren't saying we
First
should go
off,
out
you've
here and
already
commit
conceded to the fact that millions, tens of millions of Democrats are justifying his murder on Twitter. You've already conceded to that talking point. Not to mention, all the people that got fired from their jobs for, saying that what happened to him was okay. And
Okay.
not to mention the Democrats.
Do you remember what my point was?
The Democrats in the Congress refused the moment of silence. I think that part is pretty accurate.
That's actually not. So this is another. This is what I say. You guys have zero media literacy.
Wait, was this
That's not
Europe?
what happened. That's actually. That's
was that
actually
Europe
not
or
what.
Was that America?
That was actually not. That's actually not what happened. So what happened is that they asked for a moment of silence. The Democrats did the moment of silence, and I can play this if we need to because I can pull up a source. Did the moment of silence. Then a Republican Congresswoman asked, "Okay, can we do open prayer?" And then the Democrats said no.
So they said no to open prayer for Charlie
Yes.
Kirk. So you admit that?
Yeah.
You don't find that
Yeah.
disgusting?
No, I don't. If your best argument against the Democrats is they didn't want to virtue signal twice, then I really don't give a fuck.
I mean, you've already admitted that tens of millions of people of your own political party have,
I don't care. They did a moment of silence.
You don't care that
AOC, even AOC, even the most radical people we call the most radical Democrats are coming out and saying we shouldn't do political violence. Having Charlie Kirk is bad, right? And then the President of the United States is coming out on national stage saying we need to beat the hell out of radical leftists. At the same time, he's calling the Democrats and he called Kamala Harris. Yes, he did say that. And he's calling Antifa. And he's calling. He never said Antifa. And he was calling AOC. Sorry, and he's calling Kamala Harris a radical leftist. Yes. And then you can point to but there's a bunch of 2-4 blue sky accounts who were celebrating it. I don't give a fuck. The President of the United States is coming out. He's
so you don't care if the majority of your party celebrates someone's death?
No. Give me one Democratic politician who didn't condemn this. Give me one Democratic politician who didn't condemn this. Give me one Democratic politician who didn't condemn this.
I can do that. Just give me a moment. Let me
Singular.
look through some of this.
There's a reason, and guys, there's a reason you can't name one.
TPUSA
Just the Democrats
slams Mrs. Omar for her statements. Let's see what else she said. Let's see what else Omar said. Let's see. Omar's statements, Charlie Kirk. This should be pretty easy. Everyone's saying it in the comments. They're saying Omar, Omar, Omar. She says, Charlie Kirk has no legacy to honor whatsoever. She said a bunch of hateful, your own party would consider this hateful rhetoric. Let's see what else she said. She said he has no legacy to honor. When did Omar ever condemn what happened to Charlie Kirk? Can you find that for me? And even if she did, these disgusting, how would you feel? No, let me rephrase the question. How would you feel if, someone went to your grandma's funeral and said she has no legacy to remember? How would you feel? Would you stand up for her? Or would you be like, oh,
depends on who she was.
Depends on who she was. You're saying Charlie Kirk doesn't have a legacy to remember? He's like, the most trending topic in the entire internet right now. And you're telling me that's not a legacy to remember? Can we hit 30 likes? That's actually a great point. We almost have 500 people watching on live. Can we all?
Yeah, I want to be very clear. She's saying that she just. Okay, I want to be very clear. Once again, this isn't her saying the violence was condoned either. Ilhan Omar never said that.
When did she never say?
See, the statements you read out weren't her saying the violence that was committed against Charlie Kirk was a good thing.
She said that he has no legacy to honor. That's what my claim was.
Does that mean that she was saying that we should commit violence against him? Does that mean she's saying we should commit violence against him?
She said she's basically saying it. So she said he had no legacy to honor. It was filled with bigotry, hateful.
That's true. I don't like. I agree. Look, I agree with that. I don't think he had a. Well, maybe no legacy to honor. I disagree with that part, but yeah, definitely like racism and bigotry. No,
you say,
but once again,
legacy, but literally the organization you're part of literally copied everything he did to try to grow.
But once again, saying somebody has no legacy to honor doesn't mean you say this. Doesn't mean that you.
Why did you owe me?
Again,
why did you owe me?
So once again, I just want to be very clear. You understand that what you just said didn't prove what you're trying to say.
I mean, you didn't prove your point. I thought you said every single Democrat politician that talks shit about him and condemned his death. Where did she condemn when did she condemn what happened to him whatsoever?
I think you also need to make a positive claim that she was calling explicitly for violence too.
I mean, I never say she called for violence, but what she's
That's
saying,
okay. I just
basically
want to be
is
clear.
justified his death.
This is kind of what happened. Sorry, you're doing a giant Mont and Bailey in this conversation. The strong claims that Democratic politicians and along with the Democratic base are coming out and they're celebrating what happened to Charlie Kirk. And
Well,
then
I
the weak
said they're
position
either
is, well, they're not sorry, but they're not celebrating. They're not celebrating what happened to Charlie Kirk.
Okay,
Oh, but
some
they're
of them
merely,
probably
but they're saying bad
they're
things about
justifying
Charlie
it
Kirk.
at the bare minimum.
That's not just. Does that mean did she say, oh, he didn't have a legacy, therefore it's okay to commit violence? Did she say that?
I mean, she'd probably
No.
be
Okay, so once
arrested or,
again, this is the
be
strong
slammed
versus
for
the weak
that.
position. You can't actually prove that any Democratic politician came out here and said we should was like making fun of Charlie Kirk or saying we should do violence against right wingers.
I'm
No
gonna keep
Democratic
searching,
politician
but
saying
from
that.
what I've proven so far, it's already proven that they're pretty much, talking shit, saying,
Once again,
et cetera,
saying
et
that you
cetera.
disagree with somebody and that you think this is what they did in life is different than saying they should have been unalive. And you seemingly can't get that distinction through your
I
head.
mean, why was she under fire for her inappropriate comments by her own, fellow Democrat politicians?
They probably think it's just like not tasteful because of what happened at the time, and everyone's that's more the reason. It's not because she was saying we should
What
do
about
violence.
Hassan and what about Destiny? Saying
Oh, now we're going to street. I thought we were talking about Democratic politicians.
Well, let's find them. We're gonna keep searching.
Once again, you can't. There's a reason you
there.
can't give me an example of a Democratic politician explicitly coming here and saying we should celebrate this or this is bad. The only thing you can give me, just like with AOC, is them saying we don't think he was a good person, which I agree with. He wasn't a good person.
He was a good person, but then again, I mean, how many employees did you have? How many black and brown families have you fed and give them full-time jobs before? Just curious on that.
I don't know how many. I don't know. Did I ever help get a politician elected who literally is violating the due process rights of over 200?
I mean, if you want to talk
263
about
people. President. Huh?
Let's move into the immigration topic. I'm glad that you brought that up.
We can move. I'm just gonna make this. I'm making one final. I just want to make one final statement. So, and look, I did find. Okay, okay. She did condemn it. Ilhan Omar. I'll send you the link in Discord. So I want to move on to this last. I want to move on to this last.
Hold on. Let me find. This is gonna be. If I can actually find anything. Either way, basically saying all these things, saying, "Oh, he was hateful," blah blah blah, and at the same time, in those same sentences, damn near, what's the word? Presuming. We're all presuming that basically, by what she's saying,
you're literally just implying things she never said. There's a reason that you can't name me a singular Democratic politician who came out here and celebrated and explicitly, or implicitly, honestly, called for violence. The reason that your best criticism of the Democrats
I said they
conversation was, they didn't virtue signal twice in Congress. They didn't virtue signal twice in Congress. They didn't do the moment of silence and the open prayer. It was the Democratic politicians as a whole are coming out and saying this is bad. We shouldn't do violence, and that's why we had to try and pivot onto
once again. You have to try to pivot because tens of millions of Democrats got fired.
Hassan. And then when I make my very explicit point is, hey, it is bad that these Democrats, these two. It is really bad when these two follow blue sky accounts come out and they say these really bad things. Obviously, that shouldn't be happening. But then we have the president of the United States saying we need to beat the hell out of radical loony leftists, and then he's made in the past calling Democrats radical loony leftists, calling Kamala Harris a radical loony leftist.
If you're a radical
that's way worse.
leftist,
and I'm going to point. I'm going to point to the person we have the president of the United States literally calling to beat the hell out of Democratic politicians versus some fucking guy in blue sky saying he like what happened to Charlie Kirk.
2 seconds ago, you said radical leftists. Now you're saying radical leftist politicians. That's not what he said. 2 seconds ago, he said that you should beat the hell out of radical leftists. Now you're saying radical leftist politicians. Which one is it?
Okay. I was
clarify your statement, please.
Yeah. Okay. So here's I'll clarify. Right. Donald Trump in the past has called the Democrats as a whole and Kamala Harris explicitly radical loony leftists.
And they've called him Nazi, fascist. I mean, that's.
I don't care. Thanks. I thought you wanted me to clarify my point. I guess not. I guess you don't want me to clarify my point. No, that's fine. Do you want me to clarify my point?
Sure.
Okay. In the past, Donald Trump has called the Democrat Party and Kamala Harris radical loony leftists. Recently, he said we need to beat the hell out of radical loony leftists. So when he says that, he's obviously talking about Kamala Harris and the Democrats, which is why I said he said to beat the hell out of Democratic politicians. That's why I make that
It's
statement.
obviously you're assuming something, so I can't assume that Omar was
If I call
his death, but you can assume that they're talking about.
Okay,
Kamala
wait. If
Harris.
I call
How
you,
is
wait.
that
If I
fair?
call you retarded, and I say we need to go and kill all retarded people, am I calling to kill you?
No, I don't know.
Fucking God, you don't know. If I call you a retard and I say we need to go and kill all retards, am I calling to kill you?
Radical leftist political spectrum is a
Oh my God,
this
guy. Okay,
It's a
you
broad
know what?
thing.
That's fine.
Well, when they
And once
say
again,
that
you're
we
only
need
the
to,
only thing you
get
can,
rid
the
of
only
the
thing you're gonna
Nazis,
do in this
we need to,
conversation is
end
point to
them, et
two
cetera, et cetera,
forward
et
blue
cetera.
sky accounts and not point out the fact that the president of the United States went ahead and said we need to beat up Democratic politicians. It's disgusting.
First thing you
Of
said
course,
was
I literally, I
Democrats. Now
called,
you're saying
wait,
politicians. Show a source
I have
for
called,
anything
I
you're
have called
saying
out,
whatsoever.
I called out the political violence that the left is promoting. These like,
And that wasn't even
these
my
like
initial
individuals on the
statement.
on the
My
left.
initial
But the fact
statement-
is,
By the
when
way,
the
guys,
president of the United
slap
States
that
does it,
like and
I'm gonna
subscribe
point
button.
that out more.
Let's clarify
I'm gonna
my
point that out
initial
more.
statement because you've been, basically saying what I'm not even saying. My initial statement was this. Tens of millions of Democrats all over the internet, all over online, all over every social media platform have been making fun of Charlie Kirk's passing. They have not been condemning what's going on. They don't even have to not condemn it. They just have to, not justify his death and his assassination. And third point is many, politicians have been either presumably, once again, presumably, justifying his assassination with some of their comments. Now, presumably,
It's so funny. You completely lost on the AOC point. You said the AOC was justifying it. She wasn't. She explicitly said the violence was bad and we
she
shouldn't
said
do
that
violence.
he was bigoted,
And then
hateful, et
afterwards,
cetera,
in the
et cetera.
same speech afterwards, then she said, but he was still a bad person. She explicitly made her position extremely clear. Don't do political violence. Don't do what happened to Charlie Kirk. But he was still a bad person, and you seemingly have an
They call for
inability to get that
violence
position
all
for your
the
head.
time. They
You
call
in
for
this
violence
debate
against ICE officers. They call
are you
for
just
rioting
gonna
for George
overtalk me?
Floyd.
It's
He
like
said he was a
actually
criminal,
insane.
and he
Okay.
pointed, he's a convicted criminal.
I
et
really,
cetera, et
I hate
cetera.
to insult
He
people,
got arrested.
but you have
for,
an
pointing
actual
a gun
inability
at a
to not let me.
pregnant woman. Is this the same?
You have an
you really
actual
wanna go
inability
there?
to not let me
You really want to
keep
talk about
talking.
political violence?
Okay,
You
and then my point,
violently
is
protest
my
against
wait,
ICE,
my point in this
et cetera, et
entire
cetera?
my point in this entire conversation, then the two follow blue skies out, the tens of millions of them who are coming out and celebrating this. That's bad. There's bad things on the left.
Okay,
I
so
even
why
said I
would
had
you
a bad.
support
I
a
had the bad.
political
Wait,
party
I
that
had the
does
bad
that?
thing. I had the
You're
bad thing. I
taking
had the
what
bad
one
thing.
man says
Can,
and saying
okay,
that's
can I
worse
finish?
than what
Can I
tens
finish?
of
Can I
millions of
finish?
voters
Can I finish?
say.
Can I finish?
Go
Can I
ahead,
finish?
go ahead.
Can I finish? Finish. That is obviously bad, and we shouldn't have those people doing it. But then, when we have the president of the United States, which you even admitted we should hold to a higher standard than random nobodies on fucking Blue Sky and Twitter coming out and saying we need to beat the hell out of radical leftists.
So you
Somebody
think
who's the
that we should
representative.
let
Somebody
leftist
who's the
lunatics
representative.
like
Somebody who
Antifa
is the
riot and harm ICE
somebody who's
agents?
give me a sec. Somebody who's the representative for literally millions and millions of Americans' political beliefs. Yes, that is obviously worse. And
By the way,
obviously, it is
calling
more.
people the
It's
R
more
word
apparent to
doesn't
call
actually
the
make
president.
them that.
It is
So
more
that's
apparent to
another
call the
talking point
president of the
someone
United
mentioned.
States when these things happen, rather than some nobodies on fucking Twitter and Blue Sky. Obviously.
Once again, let me rephrase this question. Do you believe that people that are violently attacking ICE agents, do you believe people on the left that are doing political violence, that are on the extreme far right, should not be, taken care of by federal law enforcement? If they're using violence, they're probably going to have to use violence back on them. Yes or no?
Of course. If somebody's being violent,
then there
violence.
you go. There's your answer. You believe in violence against
Wait, can you repeat the bit? Wait. I just want to clear. I've been making it very explicit.
Congratulations.
Wait, no. Wait.
Yes.
What is my host? Or you did. What has been my position this entire time?
Point.
What is the point? What is the point I'm making?
The point that you're making is saying, oh, he shouldn't call for violence against a certain group of people. What if they're criminals? What if they're disgusting people?
No, that's not okay. That's part of my point. What's the wider point I was making?
Separated by ideology, united by virginity.
What was What was my wider point? What was my wider point? That was one part of my point. What was the wider point I've been making?
So you conceded to it. You conceded to that.
No, that's not. I've not conceded. Okay, so what is my? What is the wider? What is the wider point I've been making?
You said you agree with what Trump said, basically.
No, I don't agree with what Trump said. No.
But I'm up for the open border debate. What was that first comment you made about Charlie Kirk and the border or something like that? I forget what you said. Do you remember what you said?
Seriously not? Oh my gosh, you seriously don't know my position. Okay.
I mean,
What
no,
I
I
say
don't know
about
your position. That's what I'm asking. Go ahead and tell everyone your position on
no
the
on
border. Oh,
the
you said
on
they're
no,
not
I've been
giving due
making about the
process.
political
That's
violence
what you
thing.
said.
I
That's what you
repeat it
said.
multiple
Go
times. You
ahead.
still don't understand it. It's actually sad.
You said due
About Charlie
process.
Kirk
They're
and the
not giving
border.
due process. I'm going to school you
Oh
on this because
yes,
you obviously don't know about federal immigration law. So
yeah.
continue
So
with
under
your
the
statements.
yeah. So very basic premise: Donald Trump ignored Judge Boasberg's order, and under the AAA reported, I think it was 236 immigrants illegally against their due process rights. In cases like in the case JGG, the Supreme
Can you
Court
name
ruled that
anyone
it was against,
specifically? Are you
huh?
just, it's easy. No, the thing about debates is it's
In the
so
Supreme
easy to
Court,
just
I'm
throw a
literally just
case
citing
out
to you
there
the
because you
Supreme
know
Court
I'm
case.
not going to
The
sit
Supreme
here
Court
and do the case.
the Supreme Court the Supreme Court in JG, the United States, ruled that yes, he did violate the due process
That's a
rights of these
weak
immigrants
debating point. You're going to talk about a case that I don't even know about. It takes at
Give me
least
2
30
fucking
minutes to
seconds,
look through
little
a
bro.
specific court
Give me 2
case.
fucking seconds, little bro.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Continue.
Right? Under
But I'll look this
under
up and
JGG, they
give you
ruled.
the
Sorry,
20 minutes it'll take.
The Supreme Court ruled that yes, these due process rights were violated, and that
What's the
these
court
immigrants deserve
case?
a JGG.
JGG?
Yeah, v Trump.
Can you please send it to me on Discord so I can dispute
Yes, I will
this?
send it. I will send
Because
the
no
Supreme
due
Court case.
process rights have been violated. You're also talking about the same Supreme Court that said that the Alien Enemies Act wasn't valid, and then a month later that they said it was indeed, valid and it was federal law. So, I mean, if that's what you're talking about.
What Supreme Court cases are you citing there?
I'm talking about when it was earlier this summer. I don't know the actual case number because I'm not just trying to throw random cases at you and look
I'm
it
not
up.
throwing random cases. I'm citing the specific case where the Supreme Court
In
ruled
my
that
personal opinion, I
the
think
immigrants
citing
that were
cases
specifically
is a
deported
weak
to El
debate.
Salvador's rights to due process were violated because there's
Can
two
you
things
send me
that
the
those immigrant the
court
Supreme
case? I'm
Court
still waiting
I
on
sent
that.
it to you. I literally sent it to you in Discord. The specific things are valid is that these immigrants, one, get a right to seek habeas corpus, to get their habeas corpus filings, and then number two, that these immigrants also get a right to a notice of deportation, and they didn't get either of those.
So are you familiar with the Expedited Removal Act? Are you familiar with the Alien Enemies Act? Do you know what any of these laws mean whatsoever?
Expedited removal versus like alien. Yeah, we're not talking about expedited removal.
No, these are very important when we're talking about this because that
we're talking about the
invalidates
AAA.
this entire court case. But I got to run through some things in this giant court
The Supreme Court
case.
I just want to be very clear. The Supreme Court is the ultimate say on how legislation is interpreted. When it comes to like
I have
the
to read through
AAA,
this giant AI overview of this because I'm not going to be sitting here for 45 minutes to debate your court case.
oh, I'm sorry for bringing Supreme Court precedent when we're talking about due process
it's
rights.
okay. I'll look through it, man.
That might be a little bit relevant.
It might be a little bit relevant to know what the Expedited Removal Act is or the Alien Enemies Act, but you don't know what those two things are either. I mean, that's the main problem I was going to bring up.
Of course, I know. I literally cited to the they're talking about the AAA in the circumstance.
Random Supreme Court cases like you're a criminal.
These aren't random Supreme Court cases. This is integral to the thing I'm talking about. These are the immigrant. They're talking about the due process violations that these immigrants had who were deported under the AAA.
I'm trying to read all this through.
If I'm correct, the AA basically is an invocation of wartime powers, which allows.
Okay, so you're talking about the very thing that I'm talking about. You're talking about the Alien Enemies Act.
Yes, I'm talking about the AA. The AA is an invocation of basically wartime powers, which allows the president to deport what are deemed basically people who could like threaten the state or the enemies of the state. And even these people deported still have some amount of due process rights. And the Supreme Court ruled that they have specifically the right to seek habeas corpus, and then also they have the right to notice of deportation. Those
I'll
are
have
the two
to pull up the case, but I'm pretty sure you're wrong because people are still being deported under the Alien Enemies Act, from what I know, and they're definitely
but they're getting their habeas filings now. They're getting their notice of deportation. I'm talking about the specific 263 people who were deported initially under the AAA, which the Supreme Court ruled their JGG, their due process rights were violated, and that Judge Boasberg had initially issued an order to the Trump admin to not to turn around the planes and not send any more people who were being deported, and they violated that order by district court. That's a specific
And what did
The
they
group of
do?
people I'm talking about.
Are you going to talk about your specific stance on actual immigration, by the way?
This
I
I'm
mean,
literally
do you believe
talking
in
about
open
like
border,
it's
or do you
super
believe in
bad. It's
closed
super
border?
look, the reality is if you're somebody who's coming up here or you're the president of the United States saying, hey, we need to like crack down, we need to enforce the laws. The last administration wasn't enforcing the laws of this country, and then you're violating the due process rights, which is like illegal, by the way, of over 263 people as you're deporting them. Of course, I'm going to talk about that, especially when you're sending them. And
What
I can
about
cite
all
you
the
these sources if you
Democrats
need to.
like Barack Obama that housed someone for over 1,000 days that was a legal citizen, and you're not going to talk about that? I mean, are you just going to pretend that all the Democrat politicians and presidents are perfect, or are you just going to talk about how Trump might have made a
No,
mistake?
but
But I got to look into this.
when we specifically,
Would you agree
nice
that
job
there's
citing.
mistakes made under every single party? Yes or
Obviously,
no?
but it isn't. Sorry, it isn't a
By the
mistake.
way, here's
Especially,
another
it
fact.
isn't.
Look
It's
this up
sorry. It
for
isn't.
me.
It isn't a mistake
Look
when
this
you
up.
have a
Barack
judge.
Obama
When
did
you have a
not get
judge specifically, and I
80% of
cited
the
the judge.
people he
When you have
deported.
when you have Judge Rosenberg of a district court saying, "Hey, don't deport these guys. There's probably some due process violations going on," and you have planes on the ground of these immigrants, and you still make them fly, and you still deport them to El Salvador, and specifically, even worse, to El Salvadoran torture prison. And then you argue in
Torture
court that
people? What is torture?
yes.
How do they torture them? Go ahead and tell me. This is one
So
of the
there's like
safest prisons in the world. And if you're going to compare all
so
these court
specifically they were
cases and you're
cited
going
to
to talk
see
about the
the
nitty
counter.
gritty, then why aren't you talking about how Barack Obama, he deported over 3 million people? 80% of them did not have an immigration hearing. Look that up on your computer. I'll send you an article.
That doesn't mean they didn't get, just because you don't have an immigration hearing doesn't mean you get due process. Those are
That
expedited
means they
removal.
didn't have your quote. That's exactly what you're crying about. You said, "Oh, these
No,
people he's deporting didn't have an
no. Hey,
immigration
you
hearing. They
understand
didn't
just
have
because you
their
file a
trial in
habeas
court."
petition. No, a
Sorry?
habeas petition doesn't mean you get a chance in court. No, that's not what I'm
I
crying
mean,
about. There's
they
certain,
didn't have a
you know,
chance to
when
file any
due
kind of
process means
documents.
that
They
you are
got
owed due
immediately
process
removed out of this
under
country.
the due process means you're owed certain due process under the law. That process does not necessarily mean you actually ever get to even go to trial or even see the judge
You mean
or
that
see a
means that
court.
you, it doesn't mean that you don't get that doesn't mean you should go to trial? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, this doesn't always mean you get to go to trial. Due process.
Okay, well, you probably disagree with a lot of Democrats on that because most of them actually think that every single person that's being
Yeah,
detained and that's an illegal immigrant, a lot of them believe they should
Democrats
go
who
to
say that are
trial.
dumb. Democrats who say that haven't read the Supreme Court precedent, haven't read the actual legal justification for this.
Well, you
But
haven't read the
this is the
Expedited
reality.
Removal
Obama
Act.
gave those people, majority of them, they got their due process that they were owed under the law. They didn't
Which due
see a
process was
courtroom
that? What
instead.
did they get removed immediately and deported back to their country? Is
No,
that due
right to
process
see
to you?
right to see habeas corpus, and a notice for deportation.
They didn't get a notice for deportation. These are people that freshly entered the border and they got instantly deported back to their country. They didn't have any kind of notice of removal. I mean, if you read the Expedited Removal Act, you would know what I'm talking about. This act says that if you're caught within 100 miles of the border, you can be deported without any kinds of, habeas corpus, due process,
Oh,
whatever
so
you want to
okay.
say.
So you're saying the only due process that they're owed is the due process administered by the CBP officer, correct?
I mean, if you knew what the Expedited Removal Act said, or if you actually read
That's what
anything
you're
about it,
saying.
I mean, from what I understand, maybe you can educate
Yeah.
me on something. Maybe you're
It's
reading
basically saying
something that I
people who are
don't
found
know.
within 100 miles of, is it POEs? And that would include airports, if I'm correct. They have less due process rights than people who aren't. That's still
So
under the law. That's still not
there you
illegal.
go. It's under the law. So you don't disagree with that. What is your actual border stance? You don't sound like you want to.
Cool. I literally just said my stance. I just gave my stance. What Trump did was illegal. The Supreme Court said that, and
No, but I'm asking
JGG.
you, do you want strict border policy or do you want open border policy?
I'm pretty okay with like making sure we have enough security around the border. I think that's a good thing.
Okay, then why do you vote for Democrats? Why do you vote for people like Biden that, removed Remain in Mexico?
I recognize is my.
What about, I can name you 5 things that Biden removed that made, coming into this country a lot easier for illegal immigrants. Would you like to go over that list? But I'm still looking at this court documents, by the way.
I want to be you might be reading it and finding out that I'm correct, but here's reality. I just want to make
But
my
at first
point
you were
clear
saying they need a deportation order, they need habeas corpus, et cetera, et cetera. But then I told you about the Expedited Removal Act, and you conceded to the fact that they don't need any of that if they're found 100 miles over the border.
different people have different due process. That's why deporting right? Like denaturalizing somebody is obviously going to be deporting them is going to be different due process than somebody who's an illegal immigrant. And
but will you concede also to the fact that the Democrat Party?
I'm not conceding, and I'm not. I wasn't clear. My original point isn't conceding anything.
Will you?
Huh?
This is a new question completely. You don't have to use. We don't have to use the word concede if it intimidates you. But would you agree
it's not that
to
intimidating. My original point of Donald Trump is doing illegally.
Are you gonna let me ask the question?
Violating their due process. It wasn't disproven. What?
I mean, first off, this was the ICE agency. We're gonna sit here and say Donald Trump. But yeah, he is the president of the United States. But would you agree to the fact that the Democrat Party wants more illegal immigrants to pour into the country than the Republican Party? No.
No. Yeah, no.
Here, let me ask you another question. Do you believe people should come into this country undocumented and apply for asylum?
Depending on their circumstances, yeah.
No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with letting any undocumented immigrants into this country. How do we know if they don't have a violent criminal record? How do we know that they're not in TikTok?
Asylum seekers get asylum seekers get vetted, right?
Sorry?
Asylum seekers get vetted, right?
When you come into this country illegally, like I just told you, you don't get vetted.
Asylum seekers.
When you apply for asylum, you get vetted, but when you come into the country first illegally, and then once you apply for asylum, you get vetted. But when you enter the country illegally, you don't get vetted.
Okay, but the point of asylum, you
just said you
immediately
seek asylum. Illegal immigrants to come into this country first and then apply for asylum.
It should be that way, yeah.
I mean, it's
I would call them
remain in Mexico. I don't want.
I would call it. It's not once you seek asylum, it's not illegal if you're doing it.
Remain in Mexico that we have now. It's federal law. If you're coming from Mexico,
but just real quick, do you understand?
For asylum,
you do understand that when you seek asylum, as long as you're coming into the country, the intention to seek asylum, they're not going to count that as an illegal entry. You're doing it for legal reasons.
You know what remain in Mexico is, right? That means if you're coming from Mexico.
I just want to be clear. You do understand that, right?
You cannot apply for asylum once you're inside the country. You do know what remain in Mexico is, right?
Yeah, okay. Before we continue, what is the point of asylum?
You don't know
what is the point of asylum?
I'm asking you once again. The point of this topic is: should people be able to come into the country illegally?
I need you to understand the reason. So the point of asylum, as established in the I'll be very clear. The point of asylum that was established in 1951 UN Convention, and I clarified in 1967 UN Protocols. It's relevant because asylum is a worldwide phenomenon that was created under international law. So I'm going to cite you it because it is relevant. It's something for people who are who are in fear of certain rights being violated or certain things. So that's belief in political belief, religious, race. There's a number. There's 5 requirements. I don't remember the exact ones, right? And the point is that those people can readily access that protection in a different country or seek it. So the reason that you can come across the border without permission and then seek asylum.
No, you cannot.
Remain in Mexico. What is what do
you went muted. I can't hear you.
8 USC 1158.
I don't memorize all these.
So that's under the INA. That's asylum law. So 8 USC 11.
Yes, I understand the asylum laws. I've looked this up before.
Okay, no, I'll read it out because you just said no. You obviously don't. Because you said something wrong.
But it doesn't overlap.
And any alien who's physically present in the United States, who arrives in the United States, whether or not a designated port of arrival, including alien who is brought into the United States, remain in Mexico is a executive thing. It's not the actual INA. Brought into the United States after having been give me a sec. Having been indirected or in international or United States waters, irrespective of such alien status,
restating the asylum law over and over again does not prove your point.
We are talking about asylum law. We are talking about asylum law.
Please read "Remain in Mexico" for everyone here.
We're talking about asylum law. So yes, people can come in without status and then apply for asylum. That is legal.
Cannot come in from Mexico without.
What am I reading right now?
For asylum.
But whatever. That is a legal process that they are allowed to do that.
That is the asylum law, but that doesn't. When there's a new law or there's a new federal thing going on, it overlaps that. When there's new asylum laws, it changes. Can your brain
I want to be clear. Outside, we can get to that. No, I'm not talking. You're trying to switch the conversation.
Don't realize asylum laws change. Look at me.
We can talk. We can talk about that. We can talk about the MPP later. I just
You
want to be
don't want
clear.
to
You
talk about
understand?
how
Under
asylum laws change, and you're
we
approving
can
laws.
talk about that.
You're
I
not
want
even
you to.
conceding to it. Just concede.
I want you to. No, I want you to understand that under the INA, in the actual asylum law that has been passed by Congress, immigrants are allowed to come in without status and seek asylum, and that is illegal for them to do. Do you understand that?
Sorry?
Do you understand that under the INA and the legislation and laws that have been passed by
You do
Congress
realize that there's new
asylum
asylum laws
seekers?
that can come out.
Oh my
Yes or
fucking
no?
god! Can you just concede this one
Yeah,
point?
I
Okay.
understand what the asylum law says. I've read this. This is every single Democrat's talking point. It doesn't matter when there's new laws that come
Okay.
out.
I just.
Can you comprehend that there's laws added to other laws or no?
I obviously can comprehend that. I just
Doesn't
want you to
matter if it's an
understand that.
executive order.
I just want
Doesn't
you to
matter how
understand
it's
that. I know.
passed.
I
If
just
it
want you
passes
to.
congressional legislation. It's enforced currently. Remain in Mexico was already used before Biden's administration. Now Remain in Mexico once again is back. And by the way, your talking point, even if this was true, I'm going to look through this case. We can have a second debate on it, maybe specifically. Even if this was true, doesn't matter. We've already addressed that every single president has made mistakes on improperly handling illegal immigrants. Do we agree on this? Yes or no?
Obviously, but specifically when you violate a judge's order, specifically Judge Boasberg's order to not deport anybody,
and how
it's
many
a deliberate
presidents
act by
have
your administration. That's
violated
a mistake.
orders
That is
from the
the
Supreme
deliberate
Court?
thing.
Do you want
And
to
then
talk
when you
about
keep these
that?
people in El Salvador and say they have no
Lincoln,
jurisdiction,
he
then later,
violated
wait,
a
give me a sec, just
Supreme
wait,
Court
give me a
order
sec,
to
give me
end
a sec,
slavery.
give me a sec, give me a sec, give me a
So
sec,
do you
please
really
give me
want
2
to go
seconds,
there?
dude. Great, and then El Salvador comes out later to the UN when they bring a case in International Court of Justice that you're torturing people at their prison, and then the El Salvador says actually the people who were tortured are under U.S. jurisdiction. You can bring it back the whole time, just like how they brought Berger Garcia back. Yeah,
they brought him
that's pretty
back
shitty.
because
Not
he's
only
being
did you
charged with
violate a
human
judge's
trafficking and he
orders
beat his
purposely
wife.
to
He's a
do that,
piece of
you
shit.
then kept
He's
them
another example of
deported
how the
when you were
Democrats have
ordered
been
to bring them back.
criminals.
Okay, now I'm going. Wait, okay.
Go ahead.
Getting
Though.
back
Go
onto the
ahead
thing,
with your
the
point.
reason is relevant. The reason is relevant because I want people to understand that when Joe Biden allows immigrants under the INA to come into the country without status and seek asylum, that is legal and that he is enforcing the law
Yes,
as it
that
stands,
was legal.
as passed by
That's
Congress.
because he removed the Remain in Mexico. He took away Remain in Mexico. That's
which is
why
a good
that
thing.
was legal.
What do you think? Once again, because the point of asylum is that people who are in need and fear for their life sometimes can easily seek it and not have to wait at border checkpoints for sometimes days to do that.
Do you know the percentage of them accepted? Would you like to talk about the actual percentage of asylum?
The percentage of them accepted. Wait,
if you guys have any
percentage
questions,
of them at the border?
yes, super chat.
Yeah, 65%.
Sorry?
At the border, it's 65%.
Let me look that up. I don't believe that's true. But
so do you know the difference between affirmative and defensive asylum?
Why are we classifying one of these people into these groups?
So affirmative asylum is like asylum that's seeked at the border. So upon immediate entry, those people have about a 65% chance of being accepted. That's by trace.com. They track a lot of immigration stuff from. I forgot.
What's your source for that?
University. Trace.
You said 65%. I'm not finding any of the. My source is from the U.S. Department of Justice.
It's from Trace reports.
Sources. You're gonna listen or no?
Yeah, go ahead.
My source is from the Department of Justice. Affirmative is 50% and defensive is 47%. And that was in 2024. That was under Joe Biden.
Okay, it went down. Yeah, because the numbers I was looking at. I could personally the numbers I was looking at for 2022. So sorry, 50% of affirmative. My mistake. I'm mistake.
Well, yeah, that really matters.
It wasn't 60. It wasn't 65.
But let's talk about the numbers under Trump's last administration because obviously.
Okay, wait. Can I finish my statement?
Go ahead.
Okay, right. So the majority of people who come to the border and seek asylum, they are accepted. Most of those guys have actual asylum cases. So I'm actually pretty okay with Biden being looser on asylum at the border, especially because the point of asylum is that if you are in imminent fear, that you can immediately seek asylum. That's how they actually establish it. That's why the UN came out and said, "Hey, you guys are actually in violation of international law when it comes to asylum that you agreed to under the 1950
people that pushed illegal
under 1951 convention. The asylum supposed to be something that you can readily able to seek. If there's a mother and her children who are at the border who are being threatened by some kind of cartel, they should be able to easily come to the border without status, not have to go to a designated port of entry and seek asylum. The problem we made in Mexico is that it restricts immigrants from doing that kind of stuff. So
No, it
restricted
doesn't.
immigrants
They
from
can
coming in,
apply
being able
from
to immediately seek
Mexico.
asylum,
If
and
they
that's
get
why,
accepted for
according to
asylum, they are let into the country.
according to the CBP themselves, we saw a little under over 1,000 asylum seekers either get murdered or SA'd while waiting in border camps under remain in Mexico.
Yeah, a
It
lot
also
of
affected an extremely tiny
a
portion
lot of stuff
of the
happens
people
like
actually
that in
seeking asylum.
prisons and all
Because
kinds
remember,
of
the
other
majority,
places.
the majority of people who are asylum seekers who get their application denied aren't affirmative ones coming across the border. The defensive ones who are here legally lost their status and now are seeking asylum. So Remain Mexico is
They
a
lost their
bad
legal
policy that
status.
didn't
So
actually
you're
address the
telling me they lost
demographic
their.
need to address. That was in violation of international
I mean,
law
are you gonna let me
and
talk? Or
completely
you're just gonna
adversary
keep
to the point
screaming
of
off
asylum.
talking points that you're reading off your computer? Which one is it?
I'm literally just playing some
Are you?
games, bro.
You're saying that people that their visas expire or et cetera, that they're applying for asylum
I'm
after
sorry,
you
look, I'm sorry you
basically.
have like 2 IQ. It's really hard for you to
No, you're
stay
literally
along,
reading
but
off a script right in front of you and making fun of someone's IQ that has way
wait,
more life experience
is
than
this
you and
does
is
this look
doing
like a
way
script
better
to you?
than you is kind of sad.
Wait, does this look like a script to you?
I mean, dude, you were literally reading something. We all saw it. You're not
Okay, wait, look
taking your
here.
point.
Here, I'll do a favor for you. I'm gonna do this. Okay,
Dude, just let me
you tell
talk
me where
my
the script
point and
is.
shut the fuck up for 2
So
seconds.
you tell me
please.
where
Thank
the
you.
script is. So this is trace.com. Remember the source I was citing to you earlier?
Once again,
It's
so let's
literally
talk
just our
again. You
homepage.
just
Okay, we have trace.
admitted
We
that
have
people
wait,
that
we
enter
have
the
we have
country
AU's we have the
illegally
INA I pulled up.
after their
We have the
visa
court document I
expires.
pulled up.
Dude,
No script yet.
can you be
We have the
quiet or are you just gonna talk
IJN.
over me the entire
We have
time
two
because you don't want me to
Wikipedias.
prove you
We have a
wrong?
movie I was watching.
Oh,
We have my
okay. You don't
immigration
want me to
research
prove you
document,
wrong,
which is
so
on
you're
the
just gonna
front
keep
page because
talking.
I have to scroll through it.
Dude,
Then we have two
let me
YouTube channels.
talk or
So
I'm just
could you
gonna
wait,
remove
could
you.
you
It's
please
up
tell
to
me
you.
what exactly where the script
Please
I was
let me
reading was?
talk. Why do you get to yap for 10 minutes straight?
Wait,
but I
no,
don't
where's
get to say?
the script I was reading
Dude,
off of?
are you gonna let me talk or not? Are you gonna let me talk? Because it seems like
Where's
you
the script I was
don't
reading
want
off
to
of?
lose the debate. Because every single time you let me talk, you start to lose. So is that the issue here? You didn't want me to bring up my next point that you just admitted to. That was
No, you said I was reading off
vile
a
and
script, and I just
disgusting.
proved you wrong. There was literally no script on my computer. I'm just playing games. I said that at the start
Well,
of the
you were
debate.
yapping your lungs off. Do you want to debate or
Yeah,
you
it's
just
almost
want
like
to
I've
scream
done
at the
research
screen?
and I already memorized certain talking points and certain things about
Okay,
asylum
so
and
let me
why
talk
the
now.
MPP
Can you
was
shut
bad.
the hell up for 2 seconds, man, or no?
No, I'm fine. We can go. Go ahead,
I
bro.
mean, no, you're
Speak
just
your
gonna
mind.
keep talking over me. You're gonna give me 30 seconds to talk, and then you're gonna
Go
start
ahead. No, go
yapping.
ahead, bro.
Okay,
Go
so
ahead.
you just admitted that people are filing for asylum after their work visa expires or after all, et cetera, whatever their legal status expires. Why wouldn't you have just came in through asylum ship in the first place? If this is a legitimate asylum claim, why wouldn't you just file asylum initially way before your visa expires? I mean, logically, that makes no sense. And second off, all your numbers in terms of approval ratings for asylum are completely off. I mean, you've already conceded to the fact. And most asylum seekers, I mean, how do you know that these people are legit asylum seekers? Why do you think the numbers vary so much under specific presidents? And also, the numbers did not go down; they actually increased. In 2020, the affirmative asylum percentage was 28, the defensive was 33, and under Joe Biden, the highest it ever went to was 52% affirmative and 49% defensive. And second off, why would we ever let anyone into this country illegally in the first place? I mean, you're basically defending illegal immigration. You said, oh yeah, they can come in and they can apply for asylum. I mean, if they get rejected for asylum, do you really think they're going to willingly self-deport? That's not really a good argument, and et cetera, et cetera. And we already know these numbers are highly skewed, and that under Donald Trump, that these numbers are probably going to drop back down to 28, 33%. So with these numbers being as low as they are, why would we let people come into the country illegally? And sure, people probably do get abused and hurt, and they do in prisons way more than the percentages you said. I mean, that's not really accurate. And second off, I mean, do you believe in letting mass illegal immigration into this country? And also, if you're pro, thinking that Democrats protect the border, is that really one of your stance? I mean, I'd love to talk about all
What were the
things
wait?
that
What were the
Biden did
specific percentages you were reading off for?
for asylum. I read them to you. What do you mean by that?
But what were the percentages saying? How many people got granted asylum?
For what years? The ones I quoted you before?
It was 58. It was 50%, right? Is that what you're saying?
It was
For
under
affirmative,
Biden.
you got
It was
accepted?
51. It was 52% affirmative and 49% defensive. But under Trump, it was 28% and 33%.
You got accepted?
28. Sorry?
Or what?
Yeah, the total amounts he's accepted 28% and 33% in 2020, his last year of presidency.
Is that as a percentage of like? Okay, is that saying more? That's just saying the percentage of everybody accepted. Like what percentage was asylum affirmative versus what percentage was defensive, right?
Yes, and what about the
Okay, that wasn't okay. That was
we
this is
can
the I was
argue
quoting
about
was
the
like out of
numbers.
the
I know
P.
you
Okay,
argue
that's
about the
okay. That's
numbers
different
for
than what I
being.
was citing, anyways.
Can I
Okay,
talk
so
since I let
okay,
you
never.
talk
No,
for
I'm not
5
gonna
minutes
concede that
straight?
point because it's wrong. So
What do you mean it's
okay,
wrong?
there's
This
a
is
couple
directly
things.
from
There's a
the
couple.
U.S. Department of
There's a couple. There's a
Justice.
couple things. There's a couple things to address. So number one, you already
Once
conceded to the
again, you
point
got to
that
talk
Joe.
for
Wait,
10 minutes
just
and
give
I
me a sec.
get
You
30
already conceded.
seconds and
Sorry,
you
you
get to
already
talk
conceded to the
over me
point that
again.
under
Can
the
I finish
INA,
my
that
point?
Biden was
Can I
enforced.
finish
Was
my
sorry, that
point?
Biden was
Can I
enforcing
finish my
applicable
point?
laws already passed by
Can I finish my point or
Congress
not?
that immigrants can come in without status. So that is not allowing illegal immigrants. That is merely enforcing the laws that Congress set. Right.
I
Number
never
two.
said that was
Sorry. No.
enforcing.
Sorry.
That was letting.
Just a sec.
I never
Sorry.
said
Number two.
that.
You literally said in your last statement that he was letting in illegal immigrants.
Yes, he was letting
Specifically
illegal
referring to
immigrants. You didn't
asylum
even let me
seekers.
finish my statement. I was gonna say we can argue about the numbers of illegal immigrants Biden let in, but you're telling me that you're okay with we can look at the pure statistics. You're telling me that Democrats are better for border security than Republicans. Biden let
Absolutely. I
in
said I would.
10 to 20 million illegal immigrants, even if it was 6 million illegal immigrants, even if it was
Yeah, look at
5
Bush.
million illegal immigrants. What do you think about that? Are you okay with that? And what about all the laws that Biden
Okay.
did to let them come in? And I'm going to
gonna.
talk about those in a second because I have a list of those as well that I would like to talk about.
Okay. Yeah, I'm interested in specific points because I was the only thing I was doing was criticizing the MPP, and either you completely failed to address it or you just like cited it. So
I mean, you
I was
failed to
specifically saying
address
when I
the
said
part where
when I said so when I said 60 sorry when I said 65%, right? I was saying out of everybody who seeks asylum affirmatively, right? Not out of the percentage of not the percentage of who is
rejections or
granted, but everyone who seeks
exceptions,
asylum already. 68% were granted, at least from my knowledge, up to 2022
and that
under
number
Biden.
is wrong. I'm
Or
looking
65,
directly
sorry,
at the
65
U.S.
under the Biden
Department
administration.
of
The statistic that you were citing
Justice.
is out of everybody who is granted it, what percent is affirmative versus what percent is defensive. That's not the statistic I was citing to you. So that was not a debunk. I wasn't wrong at that point. I don't know.
You're not even using
I'm sorry.
statistics from the
I'll concede
Department
on
of
this.
Justice.
I
You're
concede
using
on
a
the fact that
third-party
I
source
shouldn't
right
have
now.
conceded earlier. I'll concede on that.
Sorry?
Okay. Second,
You're
give me a second.
slow
Second
down
of
for a
all,
second. What did you just say?
huh?
Go back
The
to what you
statistic
just
I
said.
was citing, right, the 65% was out of the
Was
total amount
wrong.
of people who applied for asylum affirmatively.
That
What
is
percentage of
wrong.
those got
That number
granted?
is wrong. Just look at the Department of Justice.
Yeah, and then you cited me a statistic, which was out of everybody who was granted asylum, what percentage of those were affirmative?
And what year are you talking about specifically?
I said up to 2022. As far as I know, it was 65%.
No, that was never true.
And what are you using to say that's wrong?
I said this several times, U.S. Department of Justice
Yeah, and then you cited me
Immigration
the wrong
Services
statistic,
data.
dude. You cited
So
me
you don't believe
the
in the
wrong statistic.
federal
I'm
government
using
statistics?
EIOR data from the government, okay?
Yes, that's what I'm using.
Yeah, okay, so the statistic I cited was different than the one you were using to say I was wrong. I just want to be clear.
Mine was from the government. Was yours from the
Yeah,
government or was it from
okay, wait. The statistic, I'm not saying your statistic is wrong. I'm saying it wasn't the same statistic I
No,
was
I
using.
understand. It's
The
two
one I
different.
was, okay, so that's why I said it didn't debunk anything I said. Because I don't care
Yeah,
about the
but it was
percentage of
wrong
who
because,
was
like I just told you, those numbers
the
weren't
total amount
accurate.
granted, what percentage of affirmative versus defensive. That's not what I'm talking about. It doesn't matter, to my point.
So what about let me state all these things. Now let me talk about all the key laws and policies that Biden did to let mass illegal
I want to finish the
immigration into this
MPP
country.
conversation. Can we speak on point?
I mean, what do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about there? You don't want to talk about all the key policies and laws Joe
citing for
Biden did
choice,
to
right?
let illegal
The
immigrants
MP,
into the
the majority
country?
of people, sorry, yes. Like, I just want to clear, yes. Defensive asylum is a flawed system, and I actually, if Trump had some revolutionary policy to fix it, I'd be okay with it.
I mean,
But
I
he's
don't
not.
want
He's addressing
I don't want
affirmative asylum seekers.
100% of
Affirmative asylum seekers are
quote
not the
unquote,
answer.
asylum
You said in your,
seekers to
sorry,
come
I'm
into
just
this
going to be clear.
country.
You said in your statement that Biden was allowing in people illegally. He wasn't. He was allowing them in under the existing asylum laws passed by Congress under the INA.
Well, under
I
current
said to you
law, he
specifically
let
8
them
U.S.C. 1150,
in illegally.
1158.
And also,
And
I
then
can tell
third
you
of
how
all,
he let them in
third of all,
illegally
I
if you
told
let
you
me
how it
talk
was
about the
completely
key
it was
policies
completely
and laws that
antithetical to the
Biden
point of
changed to let
asylum,
illegal
what the
immigrants
MPP
come
was
into
doing.
this country.
Huh?
He changed the asylum rules. He changed, Title 42. He did remain in Mexico first off, Remain in Mexico made all the asylum seekers apply for asylum outside of America. He got rid of that, which allowed all these illegal immigrants to come in. And when their asylum doesn't go through, what do you think they're going to do? Leave the country or
Asylum seekers
self-deport?
aren't illegal immigrants, little dude.
Under current federal law, yes, they are. And
Where?
like I said, once their asylum
Show
is
me where
rejected,
asylum seekers are
did you
illegal
not hear
immigrants
what I
under current
said?
federal law.
Once their asylum is rejected, they are illegal immigrants. That was the statement I just said. But you got to open your ears and listen and stop talking so much, and then maybe you can actually hear what I'm saying. So first off, he got rid of Remain in Mexico. He got rid of it. And then Title 42. Title 42 is really freaking horrible. The policy was used to rapidly expel many migrants at the border, often citing public health without giving them access to, normal asylum procedures. Biden tried phasing out of Title 42, but he was blocked eventually. Eventually, Title 42 ended when the COVID, situation ended, when the COVID emergency ended. So he did get rid of Title 42. And then the next thing that we can talk about is the asylum rules that were changed. Previous asylum seekers had, the access at border to even apply, even if they crossed, irregularly, they would be deported under Trump or Remain in Mexico. And there's a bunch of different things, but look up Title 42. That's the main thing.
I know what Title 42 is.
Well,
to address
what
your
it is, or
first
you don't
point.
know what it is.
To address your first point. I don't really care if somebody loses status or legal immigration status under any president. I'm not going to blame them for that. I more care about the way that they get into the country, and if that's legal, I think that's
So you
fine.
don't care about
I don't
people
even think that's
overstaying
a
their
super
visas.
valid argument, considering like our asylum backlog is like 7 years long at this point. So any illegal immigrant who got their asylum case denied under Biden was most likely somebody who initially
It's
seeked it under
7 years
Trump.
long?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It's a pretty bad backlog.
So I forgot what you said about Title 42. To actually get your points across, I know it sounds good for debating. It sounds like you know what you're talking about, but you should talk slowly and coherently so everyone in the audience, including myself, can hear you. But also, do you know what Title 42 is?
Yeah, Title 42 allowed basically expulsions due to health reasons. It's invoked like during pandemics, epidemics. That's when it's allowed to be enforced, and it allows CBP agents, instead of just doing Title 8 apprehensions, it allows them to just expel people back across the border the second they cross. If I'm correct, wasn't that implemented by Trump?
And it was removed by Biden. So you don't agree people should be removed if they're, citing a risk to public health?
It was removed in
safety?
2023. Yeah.
Yeah, it was removed under Biden. Do you not think people should be removed for citing a health
Actually,
risk?
no, I don't.
Are you kidding me right now? You want people to come into the country with mass
Whoa,
diseases?
okay, wait. I just want to be clear. The pandemic was over by May of 2023.
No, I know that, but you realize there's, what was that one thing? There's Ebola. There's all kinds of shit that can come into this country, and you don't think they should be stopped for trying to come into the country as a public health risk?
They shouldn't be expelled, but they should be kept or apprehended.
Where should they be
and then
kept?
after they're
I mean, if
apprehended,
they're
we can
kept,
test them,
that's
and then
a
we can
risk
process
for
them. I
everyone
think that's what should
involved.
happen.
That's a public health safety risk. It can
I
go
don't think
from
it's
one.
as long as you're
it can go from
catching them, I
one.
don't think it's a super big public health safety risk.
I mean, it is. One guard can go in there. He's going to get Ebola, then he's going to spread it to his family. It spreads to the next town, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You got to know about Ebola.
I'm going to be perfect. I'm perfectly honest. Like, whatever the chance of that happening is, I don't really care. Trump isn't reinforcing it because because Title 42 is legislation that's only applicable under pandemics. So I don't even think it's within presidential authority to even be enforcing it outside of those windows. But Title 42 had its own problems. Like, according to Pew Research, 26 to 27% of all border encounters during that time were actually repeat crossers from expulsions. So this is one of the big problems. Expulsions don't allow you to document the person who's crossing the border, and then give them like a 3 or 10-year ban. So what people would do is they get expelled and they come right back across the border. It'd be repeat crossers. And that's one of the reasons we saw. So that's one of the reasons we saw encounter rates under the Biden administration and leading into the Trump administration, because we remember the initial spike started in the last initial months of Trump administration started to spike.
You
I
know,
think it was
Biden
perfectly
stopped
fine for Biden to
fingerprinting and
have like.
biometric data and DNA for, illegal immigrants that are repeat
Are you going to address
crossers.
anything I just said?
I mean, what did you say? I wasn't really listening. You just kept
Okay.
talking and talking and
Why
talking.
am I talking with somebody who isn't going to listen to anything I'm saying?
Okay, go ahead. Talk slowly and coherently.
Okay. The reason Title 42 couldn't be enforced and why Trump hasn't implemented it currently because it's specifically pandemic and like mass health crisis legislation. So it's not even
I
within the
would have to
presidential
look into
authority
that,
to
but it doesn't
have
really
that
change
enforced,
your
which is why
stance,
it
does
ended.
it?
It was
You
why it
still
ended
said you
in
don't
May 20.
believe
It's why it
illegal
ended in May
immigrants. Go
2023.
ahead.
Okay, you can respond to that point.
Yeah, no, I get that, but it doesn't change your stance that you believe if an illegal immigrant comes to the border with Ebola or COVID or anything like that, that you're fine with letting them in. I mean, you've already made that apparent, and probably even Democrats will disagree with you on that.
They
But
should.
let's move on to the next talking point.
That's
Why did Biden
yeah. I
get
said they
rid
should
of
be
fingerprints
apprehended
and
and then
biometric data and
legally
DNA
deported.
data
Yeah.
for repeat
It's
crossers? Why did he
it's
get rid of
probably the
that?
best thing to do because I'm actually not sure. The best thing to do in that kind of situation is to probably apprehend them and then quarantine them somewhere else instead of just expelling them back into Mexico where other people can catch it. If we're talking about public health safety,
Well, I
not just for
disagree, and I
U.S.
think a lot
citizens
of
but also
people
for
would
Mexicans,
disagree.
huh?
I said I disagree, and I think a lot of people disagree. But I'm glad you brought up the point that these illegal immigrants that were repeat crossers were not, properly documented of coming in. I mean, who took away biometric data, DNA, and
No,
fingerprinting and
that's just
all
under
this?
Title 42. That's different than the
No,
biometric
that's
data.
actually not under Title 42. But okay.
Yeah, people expelled under Title 42 aren't documented. Like once again, I was pointing
I'm
out
not talking about Title
that's why I
42
just want to be
anymore.
clear. This is the point against your president because the initial spike in border counters started like 3 months before Biden came into office under Trump when Title 42 was implemented. So you'd also have to make the exact same point for your own president. But just to be clear,
So
no, I
why
don't
did
think. Yeah,
Biden?
no, I
Once
don't. No,
again,
people
we're done with
who were
Title
expelled
42. Can we
under
move
Title
on to the next
42
subject?
aren't. We don't collect their documentation. We just send them back across the border.
Someone said it's not Title 42. Look it up again. But once again, are you not going to talk about how Biden got rid of Trump's legal requirement for fingerprinting, registration, and biometric data on repeat crossers? Are you not going to? Because you complained about that, so I'm wondering why
What?
aren't you going to talk about that?
Wait, can you prove that? I'm pretty sure that was
I mean, I'm
specifically
looking
for
at my
people who
source
were
right
coming,
now.
who were like asylum seekers or people seeking TPS or coming into parolee, who were coming in with children, if I'm correct. That was to
Sorry?
prevent sex trafficking.
Yeah, he got rid of that. Biden got rid of
Okay, but
that.
that wasn't for people being expelled
I'm not
for
talking
under
about
Title
Title
42.
42. I told you a
Okay, but
million
you were
times.
acting like that applied to it.
No, I said multiple times before I made this statement.
Oh
We're
my
done
gosh,
talking about Title 42.
it's so
So
hard
you
to
admit
talk to
that
you. Okay.
Biden literally did something that prevents sex trafficking and et cetera, et cetera. You said, "Oh, that's to help prevent sex trafficking," and Biden got rid of that. Congratulations, great job, Democrat Party.
Yeah, I think there's two things. If you look at like the amount of if we actually look at the full data of like child sex trafficking and trafficking in general, under the Trump administration, we saw the initial spike in it start going up in
I mean,
2018
are
under
you going to
Donald
talk
Trump.
about the
It seemed like sorry, just give me a
300,000
sec. It seemed like
plus
this
kids
policy.
that
Sorry,
went
just
missing
give me a
under
sec. Just
Joe
give me a sec.
Biden? You're going to talk
Huh? Just
about
give
the
me a sec.
Health
Can I finish?
Secretary came out and said 475,000 kids actually went missing under
Can
Biden's
I
open
finish?
border policy?
Are you gonna keep like gish galloping, speaking points out? Or
I
are you
mean,
gonna let
yeah, if you
me
want
address
to
this other
talk for
point?
10 minutes and give me 1 minute, of course I will. But continue.
Yeah, like these are 5 points, right? This is actually, I think this is a knock against both administrations. The problem with Trump's implementation of it is that they didn't account for non-familial connections between immigrants. So if like somebody was adopted or somebody maybe it was like a stepchild or something,
Do you have
then
evidence
they
of
could be
that?
flagged as a sex trafficker, and I think that's a bad implementation. But at the same time, the Biden administration should have just gotten rid of it whole. They should have implemented that system so that we could still have that kind of like DNA testing at the same time. We made sure
Oh,
to account for familial
bingo,
connections.
bingo. Finally, you can see to a good point that Biden.
That
Now,
wasn't a concession.
I know you won't
Either.
believe this number, but according to the current Health Secretary of the United States, RFK Jr., some statistics came up. 300,000 kids went missing under Joe Biden's border. According to him, they found new studies that show 476,000 kids went missing under President Joe's freaking border.
Did you read the original OIG report on that? Have you
From
read
what
that?
I understand, that a lot of people are saying out there are saying that these are people that didn't show up for court.
Yes.
My only question is, if they didn't show up for court, then why the fuck aren't we saying that they're missing? If no one knows where they are and they're not showing up for court, and we just found 26,000 of these kids this year under the Trump administration.
No, it's not that they're not even that they didn't even show up for court. It's that they didn't have enough processing systems to issue notices to appear. Right. And this is if you actually read the original,
you have any evidence for that?
if you read the original OIG report, right? It said there's 32,000 children didn't show up for court. That's what they know. They don't have the systems to process or actually issue the other notices of.
They file millions of court appearances for people like every year.
Yeah, if you read the actual OIG report, it's a miscommunication between the ORR and DHS on these children. It's not actually that they're missing. It's that two agencies can't communicate.
476,000.
Huh?
What about the health secretary saying that it was actually?
It wasn't actually 300,000 missing children. It was that two
agencies
didn't have proper communication with each other when it came to notices of appearance.
This year that went missing under Biden's border.
They didn't go missing.
They didn't go missing. Then why did they find 23,000 or 24,000 missing children that went missing under Biden's border policies this year? Can you answer the question?
What do you mean? What do you mean by missing? Can you give me the specific
They went literally. First off, 14 kids got found working at an MJ farm that were undocumented that went missing under Biden's administration. I believe there was 300 something people or 276 maybe something around there that were detained. 14 of them were minors that went missing under Joe Biden's administration, and they were also working alongside PDFs. I mean, do you understand statistically, if we're looking at the pure numbers of entries from illegal immigrants, that the Biden administration, the Obama administration, they all had mass. Well, let's talk about the Biden administration specifically. They all had, mass amounts of illegal immigrants entering the country. Do you not find a problem with that?
I don't care about the 14 children sent. So if you actually, I can send you the actual OIG report.
Well, I can send you the
problem is that
ICE.
Just give me a sec. Can I finish? The problem is that ICE couldn't monitor all the children that were put responders, and the reason is that because they didn't have proper communication between the ORR, Office for Refugee Resettlement, which monitors and actually manages those sponsors and the children put under them. It wasn't that.
Did we ever find these children?
Huh?
Did we ever find these children?
Yeah, the ORR has.
No,
them. Yeah.
We didn't find these children. You're lying.
How do you know
through
that?
Your teeth right now.
Wait, I just want to be clear. Do you think just because ICE can't monitor children that isn't even their job, the ORR has, means that they're missing?
Yeah, if you don't know where someone is, they're not showing up for their court cases,
but the ORR does. The Office for Refugee Resettlement knows where they are. They're the ones who put them with the sponsors.
Well, let me see the statement where they said they know where they are, because all I know is why did they find? Why did the Trump administration find
it's just really dumb. Sorry.
Illegal immigrants?
It's really dumb to say that some children are missing when ICE says we can't monitor them, but the isn't, and then is complaining about the fact that they don't have proper communication channels between them and the ORR to actually know where they are. That's ICE not knowing where they are. That's not that the ORR doesn't know them. That doesn't mean that they automatically are missing.
They're missing. If you don't know where they are, by definition, they are missing.
Okay, wait. Okay, I want to be. If I'm in a sorry. If I have a check, just give me a sec.
You keep saying give me a second, but I never get any of my talking points out. Are you going to talk about how there was millions of more illegal immigrants that poured into this country under the Biden administration than Trump's administration? That were all illegal immigrants. Forget about the asylum.
I'd like to stick on this specific point.
We're not even talking about this. Force him to show the receipts. I'm trying, but
yeah. So
and if they,
I'll send you the.
I'll let you talk for 5 minutes straight. Whatever you
want. That's
fine.
No, I'm sending you the receipts.
Let me say 3 talking points, and then you can talk. Is that cool? Okay, it's in Discord. I'll check. But let me say my talking point. Let me say my talking point. If they did not lose hundreds of thousands of children, then why did the Trump administration find 22,000 missing children? Okay, I see what you're saying, that ICE doesn't know where they are and the DHS doesn't know where they are. Okay, that's only proving my point. But let me talk my point before you give a rebuttal and start screaming at the top of your lungs. We get it that ICE doesn't know where they are, DHS doesn't know where they are. They're unaccounted for. You can believe they're missing or not. But why did the Trump administration find 22,000 missing children this year alone? You still have not answered the question about why the Biden
I'll
administration
answer
had
that.
millions of more illegal immigrants pouring into the country than the Trump administration in this first term.
Okay.
Yet you're still going to sit
So,
here and claim that the
if I
Biden administration is better for immigration protection.
if I'm a
Borders are
police
Harris didn't
sorry,
do her
if I'm
job.
a local
Everyone
police
knows
officer,
this.
if I'm a local police officer and I find like a child on the side of the road, there's no parents, and I bring them in to CPS, right? And I say, okay, here you go, CPS, do what you're gonna do. And then later, I'm like, okay, I don't know where this child went. Does that mean the child is missing?
Yes, if you don't know where the child went, he is missing.
No,
That's
the
literally.
problem is it's not that they're missing to the U.S. government. It's not that they're missing to the
Where are they
ORR.
then?
It's that you don't know their location. It's not that the ORR doesn't know their location.
Oh, so
It's
you
not
don't know their
it's not
location,
right.
so
ORR
they're
location.
missing.
It's that DHS. Sorry, it's not that the police officer and CPS don't have proper lines of communication in between each other or
So
to be
no
communicating
one knows where
the
they're
location
at.
of it. Right?
Their
It's not that the
location
child
is
is missing.
unknown, but that doesn't mean they're not missing.
No, it's not
doesn't
that
mean
they're
they're missing.
unknown even. The ORR knows where they are. The CPS person knows where they are. It's that you don't know where they are.
Where are they?
Do you want me to list out averages for every single 300,000 children? Once again, if you
where
actually read
are
the
they? If
OIG
there
report,
aren't
they're not saying
hundreds
that
of thousands of illegal
they are
immigrant
missing.
children
They're not
missing,
saying that they're missing. They're
then
saying that
why
the
did the
ICE
Trump
can't
administration
monitor
find
them, even though it's not even their
23,000
responsibility.
illegal
It
immigrant
is the
children
ORR's
this
responsibility.
year
It
alone?
doesn't mean the children are missing.
If the ORR isn't giving up the location, they are missing to the U.S. judicial system. Bingo.
It's not even that they were giving up the location. It's that DHS didn't have the proper means to communicate. It wasn't even the ORR's fault. It was the DHS's fault.
We're back
They literally
here
talk
again.
about this. That their systems
Thank
are
you for
their system isn't
thank you for
electric. They talk about
conceding without knowing that you're conceding to the
how
fact
am I
that the
conceding?
Biden administration has lost hundreds of thousands of children.
That's
But can
not
we move to the
losing
next
people.
topic?
That's
Are you gonna
miscommunication between
respond to what I said
agencies.
about? You're gonna respond to what I said about how the Biden administration let millions and millions and millions more children, or not children, illegal immigrants into this country than the Trump administration? Are you gonna respond to that, or are you just gonna keep saying
I'd
that
like you to
Democrats are
concede the
better
fact
for
that
border
just because
security?
there's miscommunication between agencies, I mean, one agency knows where these children are and one doesn't mean that the government as a whole doesn't know where these people are. Doesn't mean the children are missing. There
Where
is
are
an
they?
agency who
There's
knows where the children are.
22,000 children that were found this year alone.
I would have to look at that. But once again, the 500,000 or the 300,000 in number is complete bullshit.
Hey,
It was
Democrat,
a
that doesn't
OIG.
matter.
It was an OIG report on miscommunication between agencies, where one agency does know where these immigrants
Okay,
are
if they're not
with their
disclosing the
sponsors, and the other doesn't.
locations, if
Huh?
the U.S. judicial system doesn't know where they are, then they are missing.
I don't.
But
For
once again, are you
22,000
going
of
to
them.
ever talk about the fact that the Biden administration let millions of more illegal immigrants into this
Can
country
you
than
wait? Can you
Trump's first
sorry? Just put in
administration?
chat for that. Look, if 22,000 children are missing, that's bad. I don't know that. You're gonna have to put some evidence
No,
in
these are
chat.
the
I
ones they
said it. Wait, I
found.
put my sources
Okay,
in
you
chat
want my source?
specifically.
Here,
What
I'll
are
give you a
talking about the
source.
miscommunication between
I'll
agencies?
give you
You
a
can go look at
source.
it right now.
I'll give you a source. Give me a second. But can we talk about how millions of more illegal immigrants came into this country under
Yeah, if you concede the point, it
Biden?
wasn't 300,000 missing children.
Sorry? No, there are.
Can you
He's
concede it
already
wasn't
admitted
300,000
there's
missing children?
300,000. Okay, here
Huh?
we go. Colorado Springs. Hopefully this source works. I mean, hopefully it sends. Give me a second. My computer's verifying this. Okay, there we go. DHS found 22. I mean, this is just some random local news network, but I mean, you can look it up
Yeah.
yourself. You can also find it. But are you still not going to mention how you say that you're for strong border protection? You say that the Democrat Party is better for border security, but millions more people poured into this country under the Biden
Okay.
administration
I
than
just
Trump's first term. I sent
can
them the
you
link,
wait
guys.
just before that? Wait. Don't concede. You don't have to concede the 22,000 thing. Can you concede that 300,000 children didn't go missing?
No, I think it's more. I concede to the fact that I think it's
Okay,
more than
so
that.
I want to read this out. So this is of the 448,000 UCs, 291 were not issued notices to appear (NTAs), and 32,000 UCs failed to appear for court hearings. So this is the equivalent if I have a child and I say, "Okay, Timmy, you're staying with Auntie May. You're staying with Auntie May for the weekend," and then I'm like, "Gosh, I really want to know. I really want to check in on Timmy, but my phone's dead, so I can't." Does that mean Timmy's missing?
I mean, if you don't know where Timmy's at, he could be missing.
I put him with Auntie May. in her house, and that's
Okay,
where
what
he's
if
staying for the
Auntie May
weekend, and then
lost
I
him?
don't have
What
a
if he's
phone
missing
to
with
check in on
Auntie
him. Does that
May?
mean Timmy's missing?
If Auntie May doesn't know where he is, he could be missing.
That's not. I didn't say Auntie May. I said you don't have a phone to check in with Auntie May about Timmy.
Yes,
Does that
he
mean
could be
Timmy's
missing.
missing?
Why do you think parents
But does
worry?
it, no, I mean,
Because
he could be missing, but does that mean he's missing?
It could mean he's missing.
This is literally just object permanence. If I put a Twinkie down in my room,
That's not
if
a
I
good
put a
example.
Twinkie down on my desk and I leave for a day, does that mean my Twinkie is missing?
Yeah, one of your roommates could have taken it. Possibly it's
Could
missing.
have. Does that mean the Twinkie is missing though?
It could be. It's a maybe what if scenario.
So wait. Does that
So
mean
you're
just yes or no?
conceding to the
Does
fact
that mean the
that
Twinkie is
maybe
affirmatively yes missing?
300,000 kids are missing.
The answer is no. The answer is no. The Twinkie isn't missing, or we
How
don't
do you
know.
You haven't checked up on it. You don't know. You haven't seen it with your own
The
eyes.
answer to the question
have
is we don't know if
confirmation.
it's missing or not.
You don't know if it's missing or not. So you're basically telling me
Okay,
you don't
so you
know
can't
if
make the
300
okay. So I just want to clear with the evidence that the OIG put out that you're using to make your claim, you can't actually say if these children are missing or not.
I mean, they don't know where they are.
Yes, because if I wait, I just want this is very basic object permanence. If I put a Twinkie on my desk and I leave for a day, I'm assuming that Twinkie is probably going to be there when the day ends. What the conservatives did is they took this OIG report, they clipped it, they ran the story, and said, "Oh, because ICE, not that ICE doesn't know where they are."
Sent you a source already. They found 22,000
Yeah, on the 22,000
children.
children. I'm talking about the 300,000 claim. I know where that came from.
I know, but if there's 22,000 missing and they found them, don't you think there's a lot more
wait,
missing?
I'm not
Yes or
asking
no?
it. We can go to that point next. I just want you to concede that just because ICE can't communicate with the ORR and
Just
give these
because
children
no one can
NTAs,
show us where
that
these
doesn't
kids
that
are,
doesn't
there's
mean
no
that the
evidence where
children are
these
missing.
kids
Can you
are,
concede
then
to that? That
children
doesn't mean the
aren't
children are
Twinkies,
missing. Can you
by the
concede to
way.
that? You
No.
concede that you don't know if those 300,000 children are missing. You
Like
can't
I
make
said,
that
I
claim
believe
rhetorically.
it's more based on the kids we found already and based
Oh my
on what the health
God.
secretary is telling
So
us.
I'm gonna ask
And
you.
based
Okay.
on we don't know where these kids are.
So if I put, I'm gonna ask you one more time. If I put a Twinkie in my desk and I leave for an entire day, if I leave and I leave for the day, can I say that Twinkie is missing?
Your roommates are probably hungry. My guess
Can I
is
say that
yes.
Twinkie is missing? Yes or no?
You can't say yes or no. It's not a yes or no
Okay,
question
so
because
you
don't
can't
know if
okay.
it's missing.
So just because the
But we can probably
the
concur that your roommates are
DHS
hungry
doesn't have the
and they probably
facilities
took
and the
that
ability
Twinkie.
to get NTAs out to these children, and doesn't mean that they are missing. You can't make that affirmative statement.
Wait, can you concede to this fact that to the U.S. judicial system that they are missing? Yes or no?
No, they aren't.
Yes, they are. Good
No,
luck trying to
just
get
because
him
they
to
fail to issue
concede.
NTAs doesn't mean that the U.S. judicial system that they're missing. You have to file a case for it to even begin. Maybe once they don't appear for court, that would be, that would at that point that would be like missing
How
to the
many
judicial system. Just
didn't
because you
you
haven't
say
issued the actual notice to
33,000
appear.
of them
No.
didn't appear for court? Wasn't that in those statistics?
What?
Wasn't in the statistics you read off that 33,000 of them were no show for court?
32,000. Yeah, that didn't appear for the court hearings.
Okay, so there's at least. Can you concede to the fact there's at least more than 32,000 probably missing?
I wouldn't consider those missing. No.
Oh, so even if they're not, even if they are missing, they don't show up for the court hearing. No one knows where they are. They're still not missing. Okay,
It's
we've
not
proven.
true. The
We've proven
ORR
my point. Then
the ORR knows where they are with their
no matter what.
sponsors. Still, they do monthly check-ins with phone calls.
With who? No one knows where they are.
Do you think just because someone appears for court doesn't mean the ORR isn't going to know where their sponsors and they are?
Okay, why isn't the ORR telling people where to serve their court notices if they're
Because
really
there's not
existing?
good communication lines between the DHS, the judicial system, and the
so then
ORR.
they
That's
don't
why.
know where
This
they
is what
are.
this is so dumb. Okay, and
But once
I'm glad that
again,
you finally
there's
conceded to the
over
point that you can't actually say
22,000 kids that we
300,000. It
found
was a
this
made
year.
up bullshit story
It
by
was
the
not made
by
up.
this
It was
administration.
not bullshit. You've proven my point the entire time.
No, you admit the 300,000 number was at least wrong. You admit that.
No, I think it's more. I already said I think
You
it's
literally
more.
conceded to the fact that just because I leave my room and I have a Twinkie on my desk doesn't mean I can make the affirmative claim that
You
Twinkie is missing.
conceded to the fact that you don't know if it's missing or not. That's what you conceded to.
No, the problem in that scenario
You were thinking there
is that
because you
no,
did
the problem
concede to it.
is that
That's
we
why
do
the
know
pause.
because I have my fucking friend watching over the Twinkie who promised me, who's my best friend, who promised me he would protect it and make sure no one would actually eat it.
Okay, what if
So
he
I
leaves
do
the
know where the
room?
fuck.
Is it still there?
Huh?
You didn't even put that in the scenario.
Huh? No, I was boiling it down just to make sure.
Let's
because
go with what you said. What you're
in
saying
that
is
in that
these people
scenario,
are staying
my
with their
best friend
aunties.
is the ORR and they know where the Twinkie is.
Okay, let's pretend that these illegal immigrant kids are in some random family homes or whatever the fuck you're trying to say with other family members, government, etc. If they aren't showing up for their court cases, if the government doesn't actively, communicate with each other in your words, do you think there's probably a risk that these kids are getting abused and harmed? Yes or no?
Yeah, there could be a risk. There could be a
Okay,
risk.
there you go. There's another huge talking point. Thanks to
It's
Joe
not a
Biden.
huge
So now
talking point. I just want to be clear. You were wrong on the. You were
No,
wrong.
I was
You couldn't
right.
actually say that 300,000 were missing. You
More
couldn't
than
actually say that
300,000
they
were
were
missing.
that they could have been missing because the ORR does know where they are. It came
Then
down to the
where are they? Why aren't they
32,000, which you
disclosing
can't
the
even say those are
location?
missing because
Why
the
aren't they
ORR
telling
also
us?
knows where those people are, and you have to switch to what the Trump administration has found 22,000 children missing.
I mean, that's a pretty good statistical number to bring up, considering the fact that you're saying that.
It's a really bad look in a debate when you didn't even
No,
read
it's
the
not, because
report.
that shows that
The report
already
off of which wasn't saying that
already
they were
about
missing,
10%
but
of
that
those
the DHS couldn't communicate with the ORR.
already
Not
about
that
8%
these
of
guys
those
were
kids
actually
were
missing.
found. So
Huh?
that's a great statistic to bring up.
That's a what?
233,000 children missing. 43,000 didn't show up for court. Where are you getting these numbers from in the comments section? I'm just curious.
The OIG
Show
report.
all
So
stats,
we can read.
not
We
just
can
the
read.
ones
So
for
this
one
is.
narrative.
I'll read the specific. So if anybody wants to, it's called Management Alert. ICE cannot monitor all unaccompanied migrant children released from DHS and U.S. Department of Health and Human Services custody. That's what the OIG report is from. If anybody wants to see the numbers I'm looking at, I said it. I gave
Where
it
are
to
you
you in
looking? I'm
Discord.
trying to look through this document you send. Can you send me the source?
I sent you the source. Here, I'll send you.
Oh, it's the last
If you want,
one?
I'll be nicer. I'll send you specific paragraph I'm looking at.
So, because of the Office of Resettlement and Refugees knows where
ORR,
they supposedly says know where they are. Oh, so ICE wasn't able to account for those, that they didn't know where they were, that did not appear or, were scheduled for immigration court. I mean, that's in the first freaking two sentences.
Do you want to read the full report and specific thing I said it to you?
I mean, the first two sentences are kind of important.
That's the 32,000 one, and it doesn't mean the ORR doesn't know where they are. It just means that ICE
No, it says
needs
in
to
the
put
first
court hearings.
sentence.
Huh?
However, we learned ICE transferred more than 448,000 UCs to HHS in the first fiscal year 2019 to 2023. However, ICE was not able to account for the location of all UCSs who were released by HHS did not appear for scheduled court. That's 32,000.
That's a 32,000 number.
etc.
Remember,
Let's see
they're
what else we
under
can find.
HSS and specifically ORR custody, so they know where they are. But ICE, because they didn't show up, that means ICE can't monitor them. Not that HSS or ORR doesn't.
ICE had not served NTAs on more than 129,000 UCs who therefore do not have an immigration court date. So why? Back again to the question: why were they not able to, find these kids?
Because they don't have an electronic system to do it. It's all paper and hand filing.
You have evidence and sources for that? And if
it's literally
paper,
in the report you're reading. You might want to read the full
thing. It's been 2.5 years. No, it's been 2.75 years. And you're telling me they still weren't able to, find where these kids were or move paper documents from one place to another?
It's not that they couldn't find where the kids were. So remember, even in the first statement,
they
I pointed
didn't
out
let
it's
ICE
not that.
Know after
So I
want
to be clear. I just want to be clear. It's not that HSS or ORR didn't know where they are. It's that ICE on their end didn't have the proper communication schools to communicate with the agencies.
Yes, but do you realize that's completely invalid considering it's been
because ICE doesn't know where they are doesn't mean that HSS. This is where the best friend. Sorry.
But it's been 2.5 years.
And the Twinkie analogy comes in. The best friend is the HSS. Wait, just the best friend is the HSS or the ORR who's looking after the Twinkie, but you don't actually have the ability to communicate with the Twinkie over the HSS or the ORR. That's what the 32,000 number is even a super big fucking stretch to say that they're missing.
And then wait.
Huh?
Let's do a hypothetical question like you gave me. Pretend that you leave your room for 2.5 years. You leave a Twinkie in there, and your friend someone that you barely know, not your best friend, someone you barely know swears your Twinkie is still there, and it's 2.5 years. Do you think that your Twinkie really still might be there, or maybe maybe they'll give you a new Twinkie when you come back, or do you think it's really there?
At that point, I would say I wouldn't know. But I don't. Do you
Okay,
think the
exactly.
HSS is?
There you
Wait, do you
go.
think the
You
HSS
conceded
is some?
right there. I won.
Do you think the
I
HSS
won.
is? Wait, do you think the HSS is more equivalent to a best friend or somebody you don't know?
I mean, you said they don't have proper communication with ICE. If you don't have proper communication with someone, wouldn't that be like someone you didn't know for,
No,
example instances?
no.
Well, okay, either
I could
way,
have
after 2.5
my phone could
years,
be broken.
you're
I couldn't
telling me they
communicate with my
can't
best friend. I
locate
wouldn't
these
say they're
kids?
not my best friend though.
Do you realize that you cannot, what did this guy say? What did this guy say in the super chat? Hold on, sorry to interrupt the
No, I
conversation.
wouldn't say
This
that.
is what
No,
happens
the
when you
HSS
grow
is
up
an
with an
established.
iPad
Like,
and
why
play
would I distrust the
4XP.
HSS? They're an established government
Incoherent
agency,
babbling.
including
Yeah,
the
I
ORR.
agree.
Like, what reason would I have to mistrust them?
Because it's been 2.5 years and you're still saying they can't communicate with DHS or ICE or anyone.
I don't even know if that's true because this report is from 24.
It says 2019 to 2023.
Yeah, I'd probably
And
still trust them. Yeah, I
it's been
trust
2.5
government.
years.
I would.
It's
Yeah,
been
I trust established
okay.
government
You just
agencies.
admitted that, but before that, you just conceded in the example that you said, okay, I would probably think my Twinkie probably still isn't there, or it's most likely not there. You
Yeah,
conceded to
no,
that
but
in the
I
example.
conceded with the
In the
person you
example,
barely know.
now
Yes, but the
you're not
HSS.
conceding to
You
this
admit the HSS
fact
and the
because you don't want
ORR
to
are
be wrong.
established government agencies, right?
Sorry.
The HSS and the ORR are established government agencies.
Okay, it's been 2.5 years. Where is the connection?
I don't know why I wouldn't trust them.
Sorry?
I don't know why wouldn't I trust them? They're the
Because
ones.
it's
They're
been two and a
literally in
half
charge of getting rid of
years.
check-ins.
Your initial claim was that they don't communicate with ICE or DHS. That's
Yes,
why,
that is true. That
and they
is
have
still
to
true.
move stuff with paper copies, correct?
Yes, that is true.
It's been 2.5 years. That's more than enough time to move paper from one place to another.
Why would the ORR Why would the ORR ever do something like that?
So they can prove that these kids are not missing, or is the ORR a liberal organization? That's
yeah.
lying?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Why would the DHS do that? Because they haven't gotten the kind of system yet or upgrade.
I mean, it's not really relevant. It's been 2.5 years. Why haven't they transferred
I think it
the
is.
data or the information?
How is that not relevant?
Because why does it matter if they're using computers or papers? I'm saying it's been 2.5 years.
Because it's easier to electronically fire
Yeah, it
NTAs
is.
and done it by hand is way too slow.
2.5 years is plenty of time to move, data from one place to another. Yes or no?
I don't. Apparently, according to DHS, no.
Well, then you're just simply wrong. 2.5 years is enough for third world
How do
countries.
you know that? Wait, how do you know that? Have you read this report? DHS is literally saying we don't have the ability to do that.
I mean, it's been how many years do they need?
And once
Do they need
like
10 years?
sorry,
Do they
and
need
once
5
again,
years?
and once again, it's a little different when you have like giant government agencies like the HSS and the ORR, whose only job is to make sure that these people are in like parental good sponsors, do regular check-ins, and make sure that people are actually verified. Than like just like some random guy looking over Trinket. Obviously, it's a little bit different. Those things.
It's been
so
2.5
yes, I'm gonna
years.
Yes, I'm gonna trust them. And I don't think just because ICE themselves can't monitor them. And remember, that's not even ICE's real job.
Three things.
Their job is just to make sure they get to their court cases. Just get to their court cases. Means that these children are missing. No.
3.5. 3 things. First thing is it's been 2.5 years. They still haven't communicated. Second thing is it's been 2.5 years. Why don't they confirm that these children are still, they still know where they are? It's been 2.5 years since this report. So even if what you're saying is true, why haven't they confirmed anything?
Did the ORR just lose them? Like what happened? Do you have any evidence the ORR lost any of these people?
Do you have any evidence? They haven't confirmed in 2.5 years.
You're making the positive claim that they are, dumbass, in your conversation.
They have to let us know.
You would have to make a positive claim that the ORR somehow like incompetent lost 300,000 people. Do you have any evidence for that? Huh?
So you just think it's fine that they don't give us any updates for 2.5 years that these kids
That's not true. They give updates to the ORR. They do.
Okay, well, show us the update. Show me the link and we can talk about that. Show the source.
The source of okay. I mean,
it's been 2.5 years. Over 300,000 kids been missing. No contact with DHS. No.
That's not their job. It's not their job to check. Oh my gosh.
Okay, why didn't ICE do their job? Why didn't DHS do their job? It's been 2.5 years. Why haven't they confirmed that? It's been an ongoing problem
spanning not just this administration, but the Trump administration of the
OR
not having proper lines of communication.
For DHS to share info. I agree, Thomas. I'm talking to one of these super chat questions. I'm sure 2.5 years is enough for DHS to share information.
You read one paragraph of a report and you don't.
I mean, I broke down. I connected the dates and I connected everything they said.
You read one paragraph. Did you? No, you haven't read the part of the report where they're talking about why they haven't communicated.
It's been 2.5 years. Apparently, you don't care about getting updates or having immigration, ICE connect with them, or DHS. Do you not see? Can you admit that you see a problem with that? How many years do you think it should
No
take?
shit, it's an
DHS?
OIG report. Of course, yes, there is a okay. I'm just gonna say it. There is a problem with DHS not having the proper means to communicate with the UNs. It
So
doesn't
how
mean
many
they're
years do you think they need? 5 years, 10
Huh?
years, 20 years?
No, I think they should fix it. I think they should change it to an electronic system so they can automatically file NTAs.
Okay, it's been
That
2.5
doesn't, as you already
years.
conceded in this, as you already conceded in this debate, that doesn't mean the children are missing. No, you can't make that positive claim. Two, because they are with the HHS or with the RR,
missing.
who are
They
agencies
are
who
missing.
you haven't
It's been
provided,
2.5
by the way, any
years
evidence
since we
that they
got
have
an
lost.
update.
Give me a sec. They've lost these agencies. That doesn't mean that they're missing. No. Neither this report isn't saying that they're missing.
So
It
because
says
it's
that
been 2.5 years, we
ICE
didn't get an
specifically can't
update from
monitor them.
anybody.
Huh?
I said it's been
What?
2.5 years. We haven't got a update from any of these people whatsoever. 2.5 years of not contacting or talking with DHS.
Just because
2.5
wait,
years
is it
of not
ICE's job to
contacting
do regular
ICE.
check-ins? Is it ICE's job to
Sorry?
do regular check-ins?
I mean, they should have sent the information to ICE
Is
or
it ICE's
DHS.
job to do regular check-ins? Whose job is that?
I mean, they should do. Where's the paperwork for?
That's not their job. So ORRs.
Where's the OOR?
They specifically haven't filed notices to appear.
Where's the
Huh?
ORR's report for the check-in? It's been 2.5 years. I'm still waiting for that. Someone says the ORR is monitoring them.
I'm trying to find the specific.
Even if they were monitoring them, even if that was true, that still doesn't change the fact that it's been 2.5 years and they're the only quote-unquote government organization that's seen them.
Wait, is CPS bad then? Because CPS is the only one overseeing foster children?
I mean, that's CPS's job. And also,
it's the
there's other people
ORR's
that
job.
oversee the foster children.
It's the ORR's job to do that. Like what?
Okay, where's the updated report? But smash that like.
If you want to read through, if you want to read through fucking policy, here you go. You can read through policy and guidance.
Oh, so their policy and guidance says that once we tell you that we got the children, just believe us for the next 10, 20 years.
Do you have evidence that they're wait? I just want to clear. Do you have evidence that they've lost these children?
I mean, the current presidential administration has opened up reports into looking.
Do you have evidence that they've lost 300,000 children?
I mean, the human health secretary,
Do you have evidence?
Yeah, I just gave you evidence from the federal government.
That wasn't evidence that 300,000 children are missing. So once again.
First off, it's been 2.5 years. We haven't got an update. Second
Stop
off,
repeating the big number and pretending like you're making a point. You don't have evidence that they're missing. You don't have evidence that the ORR completely missed that and all these people are.
You don't believe the current.
You're just saying that. I just want to be clear. Your entire argument is, well, ICE doesn't have the proper means to give these people NTAs, but they are still with the ORR, which is a trusted government agency.
No,
therefore they must be missing.
It's been 2.5 years, and the OOR has not given any reports if they're still there. They have not contacted ICE or DHS.
How do you haven't even read through the report fully? How do you know that?
Is this a report on it, or is this just? It says policy and guidelines. Is this the report?
It's the policy and guidance that they have to do check-ins every 30 days. Yes.
Okay, so it's been 2.5 years, and you still haven't sent me a report. But can we talk about this for a second? Two things. I mean, I would still like to talk.
Wait. Why am I the one who has to prove the claim that they are doing the check-ins? You would need to prove the claim that they aren't doing the check-ins and they're monitoring.
Because I just proved the claim. I mean, they haven't. Your claim is they are doing check-ins. So why do I have to prove? Yeah,
that's their policy.
Okay, so show me evidence that they're doing.
Is their policy not enough that they're doing them?
No, that's not evidence. Just because they have a policy doesn't mean they're doing it.
Oh my gosh.
Why has
if you are making the positive claim that these children are missing, it would be imperative upon you to prove that the ORR isn't doing its job.
He says he's 18, Burnell. He says he's 18, and he says he's in his college dorm. From what I see, that looks like a legitimate college dorm to me. He says he's 18. I mean, and he showed a college dorm. It looks
once again with the Twinkie analogy. I stay my best friend.
Stupid.
The Twinkie analogy is not stupid. It makes perfect sense.
If you walk away for your Twinkie
just
for 2.5 years.
You know what? We don't need to finish. You already conceded that you can't actually prove these.
No, you conceded to the fact if you leave your Twinkie for 2.5 years and someone swears it's theirs, and you don't know them.
Yeah,
it's
and if
probably
they're a
not
trusted
there.
and they're a trusted person, yeah, I'm probably gonna believe them.
But
Yes.
can we move on to the next talking point? I would really
Okay,
like
wait.
you to address
I just
this.
need you to concede that you don't have the evidence
No,
to
I'm
prove
not
that
going to
300,000
concede
children.
because you're wrong. They haven't been checked on for 2.5 years.
Just
and
go.
there's
Wait.
no
So if I
updates
go
about
check
it.
on my Twinkie for 2.5 years, that means it's missing.
Most likely, if you leave it in
Oh
your
my fucking
freaking dorm
god!
room.
Really? Really?
Okay, so can we talk about the
Look,
next
I haven't
talking
checked in
point?
on your mom in 2.5 years, okay? And it was a really
Can
good
we
club
talk
last
about the
time.
next
So maybe
talking
let's
point?
just
Be a little bit
let's just move
mature.
on.
Can we talk
My
about
fucking
how the
god.
Biden administration let millions of more illegal immigrants into this country, yet you're claiming that the Democrat Party is more about protecting border security than the Trump administration? So
What's your
how can you
evidence? Okay.
justify?
So what's your evidence that the Biden administration let like millions of illegal immigrants in?
I mean, I can show you multiple sources. You'll probably just
Yeah,
say
go
that
ahead.
they're fake. Sorry?
Go ahead. Yeah, go. Just prove it.
All right. But you don't believe that?
Huh? No, I don't.
So you're completely saying it's false, correct?
Yeah.
Even though I told you multiple policies how they let illegal immigrants into this country? I'm not going to use Fox News as a source because you'll probably scream at the top of your lungs and say it's fake. Is that fair enough or no?
Huh?
Can I say that or no? Can I send Fox News as a source or no?
No. No. It's not a good source.
What about White House? Is that a source? Someone left another super chat. They said
White House.
he's upset.
Yeah, that's fine.
He's upset that his poor Twinkie is missing. You said the White House is fine.
If the Twinkie's your dad, then yeah, I do love Twinks. Huh?
One moment. There's a bunch of sources, but I don't want you to give me one that you're going to say that's false. Okay, here's a source for you. Now, this source, in my opinion, is conservative. They say
Actually, I found. So if you want the ORR release data and updates, I just sent it to you. Okay. Hope we're okay for that.
6.7 million illegal immigrants into this country.
Okay. If you want the ORR report, there you go.
All right, I'll check it out later.
Okay. I just want to clarify for private source now, they are checking in on the immigrants too. So hope we can concede now that it wasn't 300,000. At most, it was 22,000. I don't even know if that's true.
22,000. You already conceded to you already conceded to the fact
I don't even know if that's true. I just want you to concede.
You conceded to the fact that 32,000 were unaccounted for and they didn't show up to court. You already conceded to
it's
that.
not by the ORR. So can you concede that there wasn't 300,000?
No, there was more than 300,000 kids, and
fucking god, dude.
check out
I'd be happy. We
can
can contest. I'm not even saying that the 200,000 or
Are you going
200,000
to
one is
address
wrong.
these
Sorry,
6.8
Can you just concede the 300,000 point? So easy.
or not? Are you going to address Are you going to address what I sent you, or just like
the Biden administration brought in? Oh wait, read full report. House committee summary in 3 years. Wait, is this the House committee report?
I mean, I'm going to send you another.
Testimony from the Subcommittee of Oversight Investigations, Committee on Commerce, U.S. Representatives.
There you go. Another
senior
source.
researcher.
7.2
summary.
million migrants have illegally crossed under the Biden administration.
They're using the gotaways, undetected entries without inspections. Estimate that number of undetected entries.
Are you looking at the articles I sent, or what are you
these
looking
are
at?
likely all across the border without being observed by Border Patrol. minors are claiming minors.
Are you going to address any of the articles I sent?
Yeah, I'm looking. Long-term visa overstays, can't really control that. Total legal alien inflows. Okay, so we'll just go through point by point. Sorry, gotaways doesn't. This says 1.7 million. You don't know if gotaways are people, U.S. citizens crossing the border.
Gotaways? If you,
Yes.
I'm talking about illegals, people that entered the country illegally. That is entering the country illegally.
I don't know. What's supposed to illegal immigrant means undocumented? Is that? I guess it would be.
Okay. If you guys have any questions, comments,
I would say
there's 2
problems.
button.
There's 2 problems with gotaways. The number 1 problem is that it's based on things like footprints, tracks. It doesn't actually mean that they saw the people.
I don't know if that's true.
Potentially. So that's the number 1 issue.
How are gotaways
Unaccompanied minors could be people who came in who are still seeking asylum. Like in the report we were looking earlier, it was talking about
This has nothing to
UMs
do
who
with
were seeking
asylum,
so that could be a legal form. The CHNV parole program, that's a legal form of immigration. I have no idea why the fuck they'd include that there.
By the way,
long-term visa overstays,
it does include footprints, but it also includes ground cameras, air drones, electronic monitoring.
Yeah, it's not a super reliable source to tell how many
it's
illegal
literally a
immigrants came in.
combination of all of these things together. You act like they see a track of footprints in the ground and they say, oh, those are illegal immigrants. Let's add that to the numbers. No, this is not how it works.
It legit could be. Obviously, there's multiple systems they use to identify. Like it could be by footprint, it could be by camera, but those.
Okay, well, you still got about 6.8 million.
Yeah,
more
so like
illegal
the
immigrants
the CHNV Pro program, that's a legal form of immigration.
So we've already discussed
the Pro program is something under the president's powers. That's a legal form of immigration. That's a really fucking bad number.
I believe that was ended. I believe that was ended, but I have to check. And what are you talking about? I didn't even see that in there.
Unoccupied.
What source are you looking at? Tell us what source
you're looking at. The heritage one. Unaccompanied minors. Those could also be people like legally coming in.
So you admit to the fact that Trump is, has stricter, less people are coming through. I mean, you admit that his strict immigration policy.
The border patrol estimates that number of undetected.
By the way, the parole program was ended, so you're wrong about that. But nevertheless, continue.
But people who came under the parole program came in legally, though. That's what I'm saying. They're citing that those people are illegal, huh?
I said, but it was ended. And their status was
that doesn't mean their status
was revoked, dude. That means they're in the country
just because the parole program was ended, as in letting people in under the CHNV program, doesn't mean the status of the people who got in was revoked.
It says their status was revoked, but okay.
Okay, can you prove that? Can you prove the source?
Yeah, I'll send you a source. Hold on.
Also, at that point, that's if Trump was the one who did that, he just created more illegal immigrants. Like, release illegal entries outside Florida. These immigrants who were entered the country unlawfully, been encountered or apprehended by patrol.
Temporarily.
Wait, what source are you using for this?
By the way, parole literally says temporary in the word. Did you know that? Parole temporary program? Temporary.
Yeah, how long is a temporary parole?
Until it ends.
Is there like an assigned amount of time? Can you do it?
I mean, yeah, when it started to when it ended.
Is that true? Can you prove that? I'm pretty sure it's for parole program. Anyways, you wouldn't conclude those people under. Those are people. Remember, you said illegal immigrants. You said people who illegally came in over the border. Somebody comes in with status, and then
I mean, this was the Heritage Foundation.
Somebody who comes into the country. Somebody who comes into the country with status, and Trump revokes it. I guess if he creates all those illegal immigrants, fine.
It was temporary to begin with. It was temporary to begin with.
And
that means it doesn't last forever.
Okay, and visas are temporary. Does that mean every time you let in a visa immigrant, you're creating an illegal immigrant?
What statistics are you reading on the Heritage Foundation? I'm trying to find where you're at.
Yeah, just because status is temporary doesn't mean you're illegal. Visas are temporary.
Can you send me where you're reading from specifically? Because I'm not seeing anything that you're talking about. Okay, here we go. I think I found it.
You found it? Okay. These illegal immigrants. Office departments, immigration enforcement,
so
legal
let's talk about this
processes,
main number.
monthly tables.
Let's talk about
based
this
on
main
the
number.
nationwide.
With this
This
number
is just.
alone,
Oh wait, this is just by encounters again. Oh my gosh.
What is
okay,
it?
this is bullshit. Yeah, this is okay.
What's bullshit?
So first, okay, so release the first one. That's bullshit. The second one. Sorry, the third one.
Why is the first one bullshit?
The first one's bullshit. The CH&B one's bullshit. The UM is bullshit. Visa overstates, I don't really give a fuck about. Gotaways is a pretty not great number to be estimating legal immigrants off of.
So basically, you're just saying you don't believe any of the actual data.
If you
Do you realize
what
DHS... illegal entrance means? Yes or no?
Like, do you want to look? There's, the DHS actually releases immigration estimates of illegal immigrants, right?
I mean, if you want to talk about those numbers, I'm sure any number.
Yeah, go. I'll post them. You might hear. I'll post them in chat. You might want to take a look. It's on the
By the way, this
the relevant data is on the 7th page. You might want.
It says we can't find the page. That's what it says. It says it's been deleted or misplaced.
Oh, what?
But you're telling me illegal immigrants that came on the southwest border, 3.18 million.
I guess it really just is that dumb. Okay.
Sorry?
Click on this and then go to the top report. It should work. And then go to the 7th page. It's the very top one.
The 7th page?
Yes. So there's like a CH&B program, that's a legal form of immigration. UM, that could be a legal form of immigration too. This first one released illegal entries on the southern border. They're estimating that off of encounter data. Encounters don't imply illegal immigrants specifically.
Go to the 7th one on the 7th page. Is that what you said?
No, just the 7th page.
So which one of these do I click out of the data files?
No, the top one, the very top one.
That was under Trump.
The very top
half
one?
of it was under Trump, and the other half was under Biden. It says 2018 to 20.
Yeah, you're looking at the 2022 data, obviously.
No, it says January 2018 to January 2022.
They separate it out by year. Don't look at the 2018.
Okay, data. Let me see. I'm still trying to see. Oh, you said the 7th page, right?
Yeah.
Okay, once again, most of this is under Trump. It says 2018
Look at 2020 to 2022. Do you notice how it didn't go up by 6 million?
Biden just got into office. I'm talking about the entire Biden administration.
That's half his administration.
What numbers are we talking about here? It says 2020
to 2022.
1.8 mil. We're talking about 2022. 2.6 million. It says.
Are you looking at table number 2 on page number?
Yes, table number 2,
7.
2022. Unauthorized immigration population, 2.6 million. So, your own numbers are working against you now. I didn't realize that's what we're doing.
No, we're talking about the increase, not the total amount.
Of course,
like if you look at the 2018. And first of all, you're looking at all other countries. You're not looking at the total amount. Look at the very top. It says total. Of table number 2 on the 7th page. See how it says 11 million illegal migrants in 2018? That's the total population. It's not the increase.
So we deported 1 million between 2019 and 2020, or 700,000. Okay, this number is basically.
They said 400,000 at most, but that isn't necessarily deportations.
Biden came into office in January, so you're telling me in about less than about a year, 800,000 illegal immigrants entered in less than a year. Is that what you're trying to say? Or what do these numbers tell you?
Where are you getting the 800,000 number? What?
Between 1.8 million to 2.6.
Table number 2, little bro, please.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking about 2020. We're looking at the same numbers, right? 2020, 1.8 million. You see that number, yeah?
No, it says 10 million.
We're talking about the total amount. Oh, we're talking about the total amount. Okay. So 480,000 illegal immigrants entered in one single year. Is that the number
In
you're
2
going to
years,
go
yeah.
for?
In 2
Okay,
years,
so
yes.
so that means that would line up that your numbers would, 2 years.
Yeah,
Well, with
2020
these
to
numbers,
2022.
hold on.
2020 to 2022.
Biden took office in 2021 in January, and these numbers are till 2022. So that's, Trump was still
Oh,
president
sorry, yeah,
until.
1 year. Because, yeah, okay, sorry.
Okay, so about 480,000 people came in 1 year. So if you multiply that by 4, that means your number would be roughly 1.82 million. Is that your number?
No.
So what is the number you come up with? You don't believe in this data?
Number I come up with is about probably 800,000.
Oh, that's complete bullshit. I mean, we're looking at 1 year
Look,
right now.
I'm just saying your own like little report. Look, definitely
I'm
not
reading
6
your own
million, at least
report.
by
I'm
your
reading
own
your own
DHS
report.
estimates. So I'm glad I was able to prove that at least.
DHS
And once
doesn't
again,
even
your
have estimates
heritage.
for
Sorry, I just want to
2023
be. I
and
just want to be very clear.
2024.
I just want to be. Just give me a second. I just want to be very extreme. I want to be very extremely clear
First
here.
off, DHS doesn't have actual statistics on the entire Biden administration, according to the documents you sent me. And second off, you just conceded to the fact that roughly, 480,000
Yeah, I didn't
illegal
say no
immigrants
illegal
came in
immigrants
one
came in
single
the first 3
year.
years. I
In
contested your
one
point that
single
5
year.
million or 6 million came in.
Well, you just
My
said it was
point wasn't no illegal
800,000. It would be
immigrants came in under the Biden
800,000 in 2
administration.
years, and they don't even have actual statistics on it.
My claim wasn't. Yeah, the DHS only has up to
2021 to
2022 and say,
2023, the unauthorized immigrant population saw substantial growth, increased from 10 million in 2021 to 14 million in 2023. Where
Are you
did you
looking
get
at
these
Pew
numbers
Research?
from? Sorry?
You're looking at Pew Research for that one?
Peer research?
Pew Research. 14 million?
No, I'm just looking at this guy's comment. Why? You don't believe Pew Research? A
Yeah,
lot of
that's from
Democrats
Pew.
use that.
That's from Pew Research. If you look at their definition of unauthorized immigrants, it includes people on TPS, CHNV, and Asylum.
I don't.
See,
I'm
and
not
that's the
looking
problem with
at
your
that. I'm
Heritage
reading a
Foundation one
comment,
too.
literally,
The Heritage Foundation one includes people on TPS, CHNV, and Asylum.
Listen,
And then
any way you look at any of the
and then
data
a lot
you
of these
sent,
things, and then a lot of these statistics also overlap. Like gotaways would overlap with like release inadmissibles of.
I have 10 more minutes, so I would like to say that even if could you agree that even the numbers that you said was about the numbers that you sent says 480,000 people, in the Biden administration in the first year came in illegally. Using those calculations, according to DHS, that would be 1.8 million illegal immigrants, which would
We're
be more
assuming that
than.
they went up more. Like we
Well,
saw
yeah,
a huge drop
that's
off.
without even presuming that
We
it
saw a
went up.
huge drop off of like border encounters in like 2024. Like I don't know what the statistics would say after that.
I mean, I don't think so. I think we saw, an increase after COVID. This was also during the COVID years, and we have 480,000 people that came in
COVID ended in like
illegally.
2022.
Sorry?
COVID ended
Why
in
would
like
it drop in
2022.
2024? I mean,
Huh?
there were still mask mandates in 2022, weren't there?
In 2022?
Yeah, there were still mask mandates. They were still
Depending
screaming
where you
about
are, yeah.
COVID. Sorry?
The COVID spike and COVID was mostly over by 2022.
It was mostly over, but there were still people screaming
Yeah, I don't think we're
about
going to
it. There
see
were
the same
still
amount
masks.
coming in though. Once again, try to predict like future numbers.
Okay, when
And
Biden
going
first
off of
came
your
into
Heritage
presidency.
Foundation one,
Okay, let me
the
start again.
statistics are
When
just like
Biden
the problem. Sorry,
When
the
Biden
problem
first
with
came into
sorry, just give me a
presidency,
second.
COVID was in. Yes or no?
The problem,
Yes or
sorry,
no?
the problem with the statistics that you're giving me and the statistics that
I'm using your own
you're giving me
statistics,
specifically
man.
is that they
According to your
include
own
people who
numbers,
are
it's
here on legal
1.8
status.
million.
Huh?
I said, according to the own statistics you sent me, the number should be around 1.8 million.
No, that's not true.
Yes, it is, because it was during COVID.
You're just
first year of
assuming that
Biden's
you don't actually know. You don't actually know if there's a drop off or not.
There's not a drop off. Biden
How
didn't
do you
even
know
pass
that? You
all
don't know the
those
future. You're just
because
saying it's going to
Biden
be that
changed the
much.
laws. No study says
Okay,
that,
wait.
including
Okay.
DHS.
Oh, holy. Okay. Great. I'm praying. Apparently, you can predict the future. Okay. How many times am I gonna fuck your mom in the future? Can you give me that one? Because apparently you can predict everything.
I mean, let me speak
Like
for
1,
a second
5,
before you get
6?
fucking heinous. If you're not gonna let me
Huh?
speak, I'll just remove you. I want to make my final talking point. Give me 3 minutes, and you can make yours, okay? And then we can call it a quit. All right? Fair enough?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
I mean, I know you're only 18, but please act mature when you talk and discuss with people. I mean, grown adults aren't going to take you seriously if you're talking like this. Okay, first off, according to your own numbers, DHS, there was COVID during, 2021 when Biden first came into the administration. And sure, the restrictions loosened up in 2022, but that's also when the data ends. And according to these numbers, it was 480,000 people. You're telling me more people didn't pour into the country after they were letting more restrictions free, less COVID restrictions and whatnot. You're telling me more people didn't pour in after the COVID epidemic, and when we let people walk around and they didn't have to stay inside all day. You're telling me more illegal immigrants didn't come in. And even according to your own statistics, by the way, you don't actually have any statistics. They end in 2022. But according to your own statistics, 480,000 illegal immigrants came in during the first year of Biden's administration. And that was during a COVID lockdown where no one could leave their house. And second off, you still have never showed any statistics or anything about, how there was only 800,000 illegal immigrants. Dude, there was more than 800. Biden deported 1 million freaking illegal immigrants. How is there only 800,000 people that came into this country? You're telling me that Biden was mass deporting people faster than they were pouring into the country? And third off, even if it was only 1.8 million, that's still more people than Trump let in during his first administration. But go ahead. That's my final point.
Yeah, my main point. I never made like a super standard point, but I'll just like rattle through it. Number one, there's an existing illegal immigrant population of almost 11 million before Biden got into office.
Yes,
so
I
of course you can
understand.
deport. Huh?
Yes, I understand that. I think we all
Okay, so
understand
of course
that.
of course you could deport more people than came
He
in
didn't.
just by
No
just no
statistics show
understanding,
that.
just knowing that. Two, we can't predict the future. We don't know like what happened beyond
You
2022
don't
because
have. I
the
showed
numbers
you
like
accurate
those the numbers
data,
are trustable. The Heritage Foundation one
so
that
you
you
don't
cited to
trust
me
them.
specifically included legal people to try and obtain their
It
6
didn't
millionth
include
number.
legal
Same with the
people.
14 million one
It
that somebody
included
cited
3.6 million illegal
in the
southern
comments.
border crossings, and you said that was wrong.
Lastly, the system that Biden tried to implement, which was pretty great, of trying to get back to a circular migration patterns, and where he realized, hey, it's people are less incentivized to come here illegally if they have legal options, which is why he created things like the CHV program. He massively expanded TPS, and he made it easier for people to seek asylum because he understands. I think a majority of people should understand if people have legal options, they're going to take those over illegal ones. And lastly, I would say even so, after COVID, we saw the biggest spikes in illegal immigration right at the start of COVID and during it, at least in border encounters, if we're looking at
That was
that.
not
So I
the
don't think
biggest
COVID is the
spike.
main. Sorry, I don't think COVID is the main one that we should be looking at if we're talking about if there's illegal immigration.
What happened? You went out of the
I
camera.
don't know. It probably temporary ended.
Final question, and then if anyone has any comments or anything they want to say in the comment section, you can drop super chats or just let us know. But the final thing that I gotta say is, you're not gonna use common logic, dude. They locked down the entire world during COVID. You're telling me that
Then why
these
did we
immigrants?
see increased border encounters then? If there's
Because
so nobody
what do
will
you
come
mean
in.
increased border
I think
counters?
it
Because
actually.
Biden became president.
Yeah, more border encounters started under Trump during COVID.
I don't believe that's accurate.
You
We'd
could
have to
literally,
look
yeah,
at
you could go
data.
look at it.
Even if
Yes,
that
that is
was
absolutely
accurate, when
true.
people have more free range, because a lot of these countries weren't even letting people, go on the plane without.
Yeah, I know it's like I know like what common sense is. I know like, oh my gosh, if I just common sense my way through everything in life. But
So
then we look at that
you're
just
not going to
like,
use common sense for
it's
this.
not
You're
really
just going to
common
use
sense, but it
made
did
up
happen that
statistics, and you're not going to believe the Heritage Foundation.
border encounters increased under literally during like the peak of COVID and during Trump and then getting into Biden, and they actually dropped off massively in 2024. That's not intuitive to what you're saying, but that's what happened.
I mean, sure. I'm not saying there wasn't
Okay,
an
so once
increased
again, you can't just
amount, but
intuitively
there was
common sense
definitely
your
an
way to
increased amount of people pouring in
1.5
after the
million.
world got rid of the lockdowns. Buddy just used ChatGPT to debate "We're doomed." Yeah, no kidding.
I never used ChatGPT. If I wanted to do that, I would just like type argue ChatGPT in my own time. Wouldn't even come on here.
He had border encounters of the third worlders, not the best or the brightest. I mean, we're not going to use common sense here because apparently common sense is dead. But
Oh
you
my
would
gosh,
think
completely
when
ignoring my
they
point too.
when
That's
they
the
get rid
hilarious
of
thing. Look,
what point did you
look,
make? That there was a bunch of border
it's okay.
crossings?
So I also want to show you that you like demonstrated a lack of knowledge of what object permanence
I mean,
is.
you demonstrated
If I
a
put
lack of
something
knowledge.
somewhere
You
and I
didn't know
leave
what
it, that doesn't
expedited
necessarily mean
removal
it's gone
was.
during this entire debate.
You
But
didn't know a bunch
I
of
don't
this
want to
stuff.
expect somebody
You
who
didn't
doesn't
accept
understand
any of the
that
data
concept
given
to
to
know much
you
more.
about the
Huh?
illegal immigrants pouring into this country. But I appreciate you coming
There
on.
weren't illegal immigrants
and
pouring
thank
into
you
this
for your
country. There
time.
was a minor increase in like the existing numbers.
A
But
minor
if that's what,
increase.
yes.
You don't believe any of the data that I've shown you. You don't even believe
Yeah, I literally
DHS
said why the data
numbers.
is wrong. It includes people with legal status in the data.
You don't even believe DHS's numbers.
I literally said I do.
And
Up
I
until
told you
what
that
DHS numbers.
their legal
What you
status
said.
was
No, what you're
revoked.
saying
You
is,
didn't
oh,
care.
you don't believe my conspiracy theory of what DHS numbers
I
would
didn't
be.
say conspiracy theory. I said you don't believe
No, I said conspiracy theory. I never said you said that.
You don't believe your own numbers that you sent me.
I believe the numbers up until 2022.
So you don't believe them after
Yeah,
that
the
because
numbers
there's
only
not
go to
data from
2022. So
DHS?
yeah, I believe the numbers. That's the correct
So
statement.
can we come back on this conversation when DHS actually releases, numbers for 23 and 24?
I know. Maybe we shouldn't be even speculating what the numbers are past that.
I mean, it's not speculation. There's plenty of independent sources out there, and pretty much all of them say
all the
millions of
independent sources
people.
that I've looked at, they include people with legal status, just like the heritage thing that you cited.
Okay, well, what
in their
about the
data?
3.6 million people? Forget about all those other people that you consider legal citizens and people that had expired
Not
visas,
citizens,
which
just
you
legal
also
status.
you don't even consider anyone that has a legal status like visa people that got their visas expired, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, that's fine. What about the main topic of the Heritage Foundation when it said 3.6 million illegal southern entry border crossings? You just disregard that? You don't believe that either?
Illegal. What source are you using to say that?
It was the Heritage Foundation. It was the first point. You said that was bullshit and you never talked about it again.
Wait, I actually just closed that. Wait, is this?
But if you guys have any comments, questions, feel free to drop super chats. I'm gonna have to end this in probably within a couple minutes.
Okay. Let me go back to the full report. Let me scroll down to the section that I was looking at. Anyway. Yeah, where they used encounters and pretended that they were illegal immigrants. Yeah, no.
Do you know what that word means? Look it up on Google.
Yeah, an encounter could be a Title 42 expulsion or Title 8 apprehension. Under apprehension,
So
that could
illegal
include people
immigrants.
that could include people seeking asylum, or asking for
No, it does not
TPS.
include people seeking asylum, dude.
Yes.
This
If
is
somebody
an
crosses
encounter
if somebody crosses the border seeking asylum and they get apprehended by CPS, that's counted as a Title 8 apprehension.
Okay, well, let's cut that number.
Yeah, so I'm not going to use something that includes people of legal.
I'm
not going to use a statistic that includes people of legal status to estimate the total amount of illegal immigrants.
Oh, man,
Also, once again, if they're if they get apprehended or they get expelled, that I don't really care.
They came into the country
they're getting
illegal.
processed.
That's what an illegal immigrant.
They're getting detained. They're getting processed. Or they're getting expelled out of the country
If they got detained
immediately.
at the border, they didn't yet file for asylum. If they didn't file for asylum yet, they're illegal immigrants in this country. Yes or no?
But you also
can
say
use those data points.
Under Title 40, under encounters, Title 42 expulsions are also included.
Title 42, dude. I'm talking if you apply
and
for
I already
asylum.
talked about earlier how 26% of all encounters were actually just repeat crossers. That could literally just be like the same person included. That is not data that includes people on legal status. That includes people who are across the border and then immediately get deported back across.
You're not
That's
even
not
talking
good data
about the
to try and
asylum
prove
thing
the total
anymore
amount of illegal immigrants in the
wrong
country.
about it. You can if you enter the country. No, let me talk. This is my last talking point, then I gotta hop off here. If you enter the country illegally, even under Biden, and if you didn't yet file for asylum, you are still an illegal immigrant entering the country. So it doesn't matter if they were here for asylum.
Yeah, it does. Okay. Well, first of all, it absolutely does. Like what? Okay,
they didn't apply for asylum yet. They entered illegally.
Wait. Just give me a second. Wait. Which one is worse? Which one's worse? If 10 million illegal immigrants come into the country, get here and get to stay, or 10 million immigrants cross the border and immediately get expelled back? Which one's worse?
This kid backpedals so much. I'm surprised he is getting anywhere. I have no clue who you're talking about.
Can you explain which one of those is worse?
Which one? The asylum seekers or what?
No. Okay. Which one would be worse? 10 million immigrants coming across the border legally and expelled back into Mexico immediately, or 10 million illegal immigrants coming to the country and staying here for like a decade. Which one's worse?
The ones coming in here illegally and staying for a decade?
Obviously. So when we're talking about things like the population of illegal immigrants, those are talking about people who come here and actually get the cross and stay here like successfully for some amount of time. I don't care about the people
It doesn't
immediately
matter
getting
if they
expelled.
stayed here for a day or
I
they
don't
stayed here for
care.
10
That's
years.
Biden
They
enforcing
entered
border law at
illegally.
that point.
You don't care
Why
about
would I care about
the
statistics about him enforcing border law?
You don't
You're
care
literally
about the
saying you're
details,
criticizing
dude.
him for
You don't
enforcing
care
the
if they
law
came
at that
in.
point.
You don't care if their visa expired. You don't care if their
No, I don't care if
temporary
they crossed the
status
border and immediately got expelled
got
back into
revoked.
Mexico. I don't really care. That's Biden
Oh,
enforcing
so
the
you
law.
don't care
That we
about
should
the
compliment
illegal
him on
immigrants
that, huh?
pouring into this country. Okay, there you go. You've proven my point with that
No,
last
what?
one. I really appreciate it, man. That's all we got to
Okay, bro.
say here.
Me when I say, hey, it's actually a good thing when Biden gets people, well, expels people back across the border who come to the country. That's a good
I
thing.
mean, you
We
said you
should
don't
report
care.
them.
It doesn't count as an illegal crossing
It
if
doesn't
they
count as
enter
an
and they're
illegal
instantly
immigrant here.
removed.
It doesn't
But I
count
gotta
towards the
go, man.
population of illegal immigrants. That's
Slap
what I said.
that like and
It
subscribe
doesn't
button.
count towards the
I
population of
appreciate
illegal
everyone.
immigrants. It doesn't count towards the population of illegal immigrants.
Should I keep going, Burnell? Is that what you're saying?
The thing that matters is the population of illegal immigrants. That's what I care about.
Oh, so you don't actually care about the actual statistics of how many
If
illegal
somebody comes
immigrants
across the
crossed.
border and immediately gets expelled back, and law enforcement is there to meet them, then yeah, that's
So
Biden enforcing the
that
border. That's
doesn't
making sure
actually
it's safe.
fit your
That's making sure it's safe
standard.
and secure, and it can't actually get like any more into the country. I
So
think
let me
that's a good thing.
clarify your statements, just so everyone knows. So anyone that comes in to seek asylum, they haven't filled out any paperwork or told anyone that they're here for asylum. Anyone that's instantly deported or removed out of the country. Anyone that's a repeat offender of crossing the border, or anyone that has a expired work visa, or they re-enter the country after their work visa is expired. None of these things matter to you whatsoever when it comes to
Minus the
these.
expired
They don't
visas and the
count.
repeat crossers. Yeah, no, I don't care about. That's
Okay,
actually a
so
good thing.
basically,
I think
in
people
your
seeking asylum.
definition,
Look, if there's a crying mother and children who are being chased by the cartels with guns, yeah, I'm happy to let those people in, seek asylum.
okay,
If somebody
that's not the
crosses the border
majority of
legally
asylum
and Biden,
seekers.
big balls Biden and his strong CBS bordermen are there to pick them up and scoop them across the border back in Mexico, that's based. Once you do that, the thing that we should be looking at is the total population of illegal immigrants. That's the important statistic.
All right, man. I heard. We agree to disagree. I didn't even say. What was your last talking point? I was
You
reading the
gotta go
comments.
bang some more nails into the wall of your head, okay?
No, I think that's what you're gonna do. You just got proven wrong. You don't believe in this. People that haven't even filed for asylum. You don't believe in repeat crossers. You don't believe
That's not what
basically
I
any
said.
kind of illegal immigrant that comes into this country.
Yeah,
You
when
don't care
I
whatsoever.
read the relevant law under the INA and I say those
It
people
is
aren't
relevant
illegal.
law. They
Yes, I do.
came
I
in
actually do
illegally.
believe in our
You don't
country's
care about
laws.
the law.
I don't believe
All
in
right, man.
in
I
Trump's
appreciate you
administration.
coming in, but I gotta dip now.
I don't believe in Trump's administration going around and like violating the due process rights of hundreds of
I mean, we
immigrants.
can
I
debate
don't
about
believe in
this. We
Trump's
did,
administration.
man.
Sorry, I don't believe
Peace.
in Trump's
Appreciate you.
administration.
Appreciated him, but I gotta get to bed. I appreciate your super chat, Burnell, as well. If you guys have any final questions or comments, anything you want to talk about, I'm here for it. That was a good debate. I appreciate him, but I told him about 5 times that I had to go. I had to end it. Do I have a headache now? A little bit. He didn't really care that people were coming into illegally. He didn't care if they were repeat crossers or they were going to later on file asylum, in his other words. Those people don't count towards illegal border crossings. Anyone that comes in that had an expired work visa or anyone that re-enters the country, they also don't count for illegal border crossings. Also, anyone that comes in the country, he used insults. He knew he was losing. Fair enough, Burnell. If anyone has any final questions or comments, it's the last day of the month. So I really appreciate it if you have any super chats, final things to say. That was an interesting debate. I think his best talking point in the entire debate was that court case. I just got to read up on that a bit. Other than that, I think I completely rolled him, in my personal opinion. Let's make a counter video exposing him. Come on, Burnell. Come on the live stream and we can do it for sure. When you're debating with someone and your main talking point is, referencing a court case without letting know someone ahead of time, Joseph, if you want to talk to me, you can join the Discord. Let me know. He was using AI. He was indeed using AI. True, make a counter video, fast checking through it. We'll smash that like and subscribe button. Hard to get his message because he claims that Biden had, the Democrats are. Yeah, when you use insults like that, that's a big no-no. But that's the problem with the deporting people. Send me a link, please, Joseph. I'm really tired. I'm not going to be doing any more debating unless you drop like a $40 super chat. Hey, I want to get you in, Knee Nasty. I'm going to send a final link of the Discord, and there we can go from there. We can get you in here. I'm going to send a link for everyone to join in, and that's it. That was a good debate. I'll give it to him. He was pretty, well-rounded, but he just has to control himself and, learn how to treat people with respect. The Democrat Party is not inclusive or, respectful in any shape or form. But here we go. If anyone wants to chat with me, there's the Discord link. He definitely goes to a DEI college, someone says in the comments. Smash that like and subscribe button. I see the Democrats celebrating in chat, but he was proven wrong multiple times. I was proven not to know about the court case. Fair enough. Fair enough. Either way, that was a good discussion. Like I said, if you guys have any final questions or comments or anything you guys want to talk about, let me know. Let's see how many subscribers we're at now, guys. Oof. Damn, guys, we're so close. Hold on, let's see. Let's see. Oof, we're very close to 20,000, guys. Very, very close. Does anyone have any final questions, comments, anything they want to talk about? You can join the Discord link if you want to talk with me. It's the link in the bio. Let us know the views of this video. Your ratings are up. I appreciate that. Have a good night, everyone. I'm going to call the night now. Doesn't seem like you guys have any final questions or comments or super chats. I'll give you a full minute if you do, maybe. I'm sorry about that, Joseph. Hopefully you can find someone for you. Have a great night. But if he cries, we call it. Oh, the Democrats are angry in the comment section. Well, I hope you enjoyed the debate at least, even if you don't like me. Have a blessed night. See you guys again. Thank you for the W. Peace out, everyone. I'm gone. I'm gone too. Love you all. That was fun. Night, night.